Ooh. What's going on, guys? Welcome to My Cup of Tea, episode number 27, where we will be discussing a plethora of different things and breaking down the latest episode of WandaVision. Joining us, as always, we have Evan.
How we doing? I'm doing good. Plethora. I like that, Nathan. Yeah, seem very sophisticated. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a writer, you know. So.
But yeah, I'm super excited. We have a crazy WandaVision episode, which kind of goes without saying at this point. I loved it. Not my favorite of the season, but I still loved it because this season is so like spectacular. But yeah, and then I'm happy to get into all these other trailers: Cruella, Mortal Kombat, Snyder cut, all the craziness. So I'm hyped.
And also joining us, we have Carson.
I tried to turn it to purple right as that came to me, and then I was like, "It was me all along." Yeah.
Carson all along.
God, I love that. We'll talk about that review. It's so good. Yeah, just excited. It feels like I've been seeing tweets on Twitter today, just like the credits when WandaVision rolls, and it's just like not again. And that's how I feel right now. I'm like, those damn.
Oh my
god. Today especially, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, we got 2 more episodes left, and we're gonna go crazy with our theories and speculation once again. So excited about that, and then some other trailers. Cruella, I was pleasantly surprised by. It feels like a very like I don't know, like a YA adaptation, but like in a good way is the best way I could describe it. It's like so angsty, and I'm like, I did not expect Disney to like do that.
You mean Disney's Joker, right, Carson?
Yeah.
Whoa. God, it's just complete sidebar, but I was watching Patrick Williams' new video, and it was about needle drops, and
I gotta watch that.
He just completely shades. He's talking about how Scorsese uses needle drops, and then you just feel like some people, like Todd Phillips, just put a rock song of a guy going downstairs.
Dang.
And it just made me lose it. But yeah, great video. I wish we could talk about needle drops for an hour, but that man exhausted every single possible needle drop in the history of cinema. Somehow.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy. Go watch that on his channel. But yeah, let's get into some of these things. We have so many theories that are like validated, half validated. Evan is probably screaming. Evan's probably screaming at certain reveals. We'll see.
Evan will hate me for bringing up Mephisto.
Oh no.
No, it's just well, our resident chat boy Noah shared some tidbit with me from the comic, but we'll get there.
Okay.
But I will say, to Carson's point, yeah, I did not feel the cliffhanger cut off as much as I did this week. Like, you could just see my video. I'm just like, how is it over? I was in despair. Like how are we? I really like every time I think there's just more to go, and it never is.
Yeah, I mean, weren't they supposed to be like an hour long? What happened, guys? Remember that stupid 1 hour long rumor that came?
It was like barely 30 minutes. Like, all right.
Yeah, it was the same runtime as last week with the 30 minutes with the 7-minute credit sequence. It just makes no sense whatsoever.
Wait, Evan, did you guys see the mid-credit scene? Because there was one. Okay,
yes.
I just don't make sure.
I would have missed it.
I didn't see it. Oh no!
I was like,
I almost clicked off. If it wasn't for Nathan, I would have totally not even.
I know.
bothered.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was like immediately. So like I was watching the episode and I was just like letting the credits play because I'm just so scared I will miss something because it's happened before, and it's just like it starts. And I'm like, what? And then immediately when it's done, like I think like in my video I even like left it. I'm like typing. I'm just like I have to inform the chat in the world. They can't miss it.
Yeah, I mean, WandaVision shouldn't be doing those mid-credit sequence because like you've had 7 episodes in a row now with 7-minute credits. So I'm like, okay. People just turn it off anyway, so
yeah.
No more mid-credit sequence, please.
Quite worrisome, because I feel like it's gonna be like a significant thing because, like not to like jump far, but yeah, Monica and Pietro are face to face now, right? I'll say Peter, Quicksilver. I'm still gonna stick with that, and we'll get to that. But
we'll get to it because I kind of lessened down my feelings on it. But we'll get to it.
Let's jump to the beginning, I guess. So the episode kicks off right away in a Modern Family / Office type vibe.
God, the intro is so good. I love it.
Oh yeah, a Easter egg blink and you'll miss. So one of the license plates that says Wanda has like specific numbers listed on the top, and those numbers actually translate out to Stan Lee's birthday.
Oh wow,
that's sweet.
That's sweet.
Very
That's what the Easter egg should be. You know what I saw before this?
Oh,
Sorry
no.
to go on a tangent, but someone's like, the rabbit is Doctor Strange trapped within because
No!
she turned him into a thing, and that's
Well, what the hell? I haven't heard that one. I heard that
You're
it
joking.
I heard it could be like
I will send you the TikTok.
I've heard it's like Agnes's.
God.
I've heard it's Agnes's son, like in the comics. But
Oh
not,
my gosh!
not which I don't think it is, but but not Doctor Strange. Excuse me, how could Agnes against the
That's
master?
what I'm like. That's the Sorcerer Supreme. Let's
Yeah.
give the man some
Calm
credibility
down
here.
Not to discredit who Agnes is. I mean, we haven't seen her full potential yet, but like,
I mean, this guy fought Thanos. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Come on.
yeah, like, this man fought
Both Wanda
woman.
and Doctor Strange fought Thanos. Yeah. So, sorry, Agatha, you're screwed.
I'm sorry, but yeah. Wait, okay. How did this episode start? Yeah. So yeah,
So
we're
she's
like,
in the bed, right?
yeah, we're just like chill. We're just getting like she's having a full mental breakdown at this point. She's just like, I don't care anymore.
And then immediately after that, we get that line in I can't remember. God, I mix up the kids every week.
I think it's Billy.
Billy's like, my head's all fuzzy, Mom.
Yeah, it's
like
Billy.
it's so noisy. Like, what do you? And I'm just like, oh, she's losing control. And then they're like, right after that, the other one's like, our game's all messed up. And then it cuts to like their controllers just constantly changing. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be this episode where everything's out of control. And I immediately thought of the shot of where she starts like changing things or try to put stuff back. And then she does that, of course, in the living room. But yeah, just like an interesting start to the episode because then we get like those like talking heads of Wanda just like, I'm fine, like I'm good. I'm not. And then Elizabeth Olsen sells it so well. She kind of like looks a little bit off screen. She's like totally miss that.
I
loved it.
I will say real quick, with it's for some reason the superhero name's easier. So like Wiccan, when he's talking about like hearing voices, they're playing it like for laughs in the moment, but like I'm thinking like all the past traumas I've seen mutants go through with that same power.
Right.
I'm like, oh my god, no, help him.
Yeah,
even
last time
Charles
Jean Grey had
Xavier,
that.
his whole character arc of just like abandoning everything because it's just the voices in his head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jean Grey. Last time she heard voices in her head, like she killed Professor X. So I'm like, things can get crazy. But yeah, she's really acting a lot like the mom from Modern Family, right?
Yeah, like exactly. I was like,
exactly it's like she's like, okay, you know what? Watch Modern Family, watch the mom, and just do her for a whole 30 minutes. And that's exactly what she was.
That was literally just like the whole vibe I got. I was just like, wow, this is the exact same, like the same mannerisms and like deliveries. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I think sells it so well because like then when it flips to like some of the like later on when Monica comes in and it flips and she's just like, get out of here. I'm like, oh my god, scared me. Totally scared me when she walks in. But we'll get
Elizabeth
to that
Olsen's
part.
so good, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, we start seeing like a lot of the stuff is like glitching around. She can't really sustain things. Like the kids' games is like it's stupid. Like it's just they're playing games, but like I saw like the first thing they had was like the Wii remotes, and I was like, God, I want to play the Wii. Just like I felt nostalgic all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That's not to the point of this episode at all. I'm just randomly telling you facts about me.
I like the Wii, yo. The Wii was great. Remember when
in my living room now? I take it from my family.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'm taking the Wii. I'll play Mario Kart. So every so
Summer
often I boot it.
2009, where I'm playing golf with my family.
Yeah, Wii Golf, that stupid slider that like never works with the motion controls, and it goes
awful.
Yeah. I'm like, how the hell are you curving the bowling ball? There's no actual way. Anyway, yeah, it's flipping between like Game Boy and Atari and Uno.
Love that.
Oh, real quick. So at this point, do we still think, in terms of like Billy was hearing voices in his head and everything, his powers seem to be growing? Do we think these kids are still sticking alive at the end of the series? Because I still think they are.
100%.
Yes, I think they're probably like trapped somewhere right now, and we're gonna have to come back.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'm just getting more and more nervous. Like their powers are developing. Later on, like Vision talks about the kids again. I'm like, okay, like they seem to be like real people. They seem to be like developing their powers now. Hopefully, this means even more confirmation that okay, there's these. We might get different actors if they want to age them up again, but they are going to be sticking around for the long haul. Hopefully,
Yeah, and I think they will, especially too, because like they're other than like uh, Vision or Agnes or Pietro, like they're the ones like asking questions, like, "Hey, like, mom, what's going on?" Like, like they kind of have this kind of consciousness that would make sense for them to be alive and not just through a projection of whatever Wanda's doing. And again, with the rover thing later on in the episode, we see it change, and we see that realization that Monica knows that she is actually changed, so she can get through. So stuff like that is kind of confirmation to me that at least some people are actually physically there and changed to whatever Wanda has projected onto them.
Agreed. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, when even the kids mentioned like, oh yeah, last week like Uncle Pietro was like is he gonna kill Dad again, or like can't kill Dad twice? So like they have the ability to ask those kind of questions about their own like father figure, I guess.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy.
And then Wanda's just in full force, like, that man is not your uncle. Don't talk to him. Like, we're done with that now. Interesting. And yeah, it's interesting seeing like everything glitch around. At first I was at this point the show's making me look at every detail. Like at one point the milk like glitches to a carton and there's a missing child, and I'm like, who?
I know. I saw that too.
I was just about to mention that. I'm like, oh, there we go with the Spider-Man 3, like, the missing children
I wasn't even
on the board again. Because, like, if people in the audience don't know, it's like in the Spider-Man 3 clip or like set photo, there's like a whole image of like missing children. So, and then there's a missing children on the milk carton. I'm like,
and then also in this episode, we get all the children like on the outskirts of the city, and we're like, wait, is that where she just banished them? They're walking around.
Banished them.
So it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, so like we're going through, and then at a point Agnes comes in and steals away the twins. She's at which point also again Wanda is just like,
oh, she just lets her in. She's like, all right,
yeah, straight up
Agnes.
with the magic as well, because she's like, she literally says, I just don't want to get, I don't care anymore. She's just really just somber right now because everything's falling apart. Also weird to think that this is all happening in the span of like a week roughly. Like,
right.
You're right.
Vision even says so in, I think, one of his like interview kind of scenes. He's like, for her, this is all like, a matter of weeks, and this is something I can't even remember. And I thought like that was really good, kind of rational.
The
interview cutaways are so fun.
Beautiful.
So well done.
Vision's just like, what am I doing here? Like,
yeah. It's like, why? Why is this absurd? Takes off his mic from the cave. It's like, how do I get? Like, I need to find my wife. Like, it's funny to think like they keep like stopping at like intersections of, and then it's just a cutaway. But also, again, like starting up to that point, Vision wakes up in the field around the S.W.O.R.D agent circus. Where great detail that Darcy, who was chained to the car, is now an escape artist.
Love that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Perfect. So then they meet up, and I was very happy that Vision like right away like snapped her out of it, because I was like, yeah, that's right, that's we established. I keep assuming like, oh, we're gonna get locked in. I
love how chill she was with it. Like she woke up and she's like, all right, like like
that sucked, man, but like let's go.
we got stuff to do. Like,
yeah,
let's take it on the road. And Vision's just like, oh, okay.
Well, she was probably only in there for like a couple hours. Everybody else is weeks. Oh.
Yeah, it was so good seeing her like not like super freak out like all the other ones saying like, oh, she's controlling me in the brain, because like we've already seen that already. But yeah, that's not really who Darcy is. But I was dying to seeing Vision like in a car. Like it's so weird seeing Vision with his old big costume and everything just getting to a truck. I'm like, is that like it seems like it's just Paul Bettany in a truck.
The shot of they're like pulling
sight
out and the guy's running along and you can just see Vision just yelling at him like, get off, I'm sorry.
It was super weird.
His comedic timing is just hilarious, and I love him so much.
So good. So yeah, they're driving along. Vision's trying to get answers he really doesn't have. He does get explained to him like how he died twice and all that.
Which again,
It is still weird. I
it's
know.
still super weird. I'm yelling. I'm like, okay, were you there in Wakanda? Like, yeah,
ESPN top 10 sword footage.
Nah. It's just, I'm pretty sure it's just relayed footage of like accounts and stuff.
He's like, oh yeah, Vision, you died twice. I'm like, yeah, you died, and then Thanos came in, used the time stone, brought you back, and then killed you. I'm like, wait.
Yeah, it's so meta.
I will
Wanda like talking to ESPN.
I will
like,
once again revert you to Civil War using Winter Soldier footage of the helicarrier falling.
That's true. I mean, that's Washington D.C. This is like middle of Wakanda fighting against alien invasions and shit. I'm like, who's recording this?
Well, I mean,
What's going on?
I also posed the question: how did they even get Vision's body out of Wakanda? So
good
I can believe that. Morgan and I can believe someone's out there with a GoPro.
I threw away camera physics in the MCU back in like 2015.
I'm
not.
It's fun to joke about.
It's super funny because it's like up close detail. It's like,
it's 3 times in the show that they brought it up like this, and it's just like weird. Like
it's super funny.
But it works.
Oh, Wanda could have killed Thanos if it wasn't for him calling the invasion. I'm like, wait a second. Like, is Wanda telling everybody what happened to her in like Avengers: Infinity War?
People were there, man. They talking. I don't know.
And then, so then do we go to
Jesus, Evan. People died, dude. You want to keep going?
Actually, only 3 people died. It was like Iron Man and Black Widow.
Only 3 people. All the Wakandans and Asgard, they're fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
Do we go to Monica and Agent Wu like right after?
Pretty much, I'd say. It was like, yeah, so like they were on their way. They confirmed they didn't get taken by the Hex. And then they meet up to get this
No. Bombshell before that. In the car, they're talking about what Darcy uncovered.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And they're trying to... We called it. Or I called it, or somebody called it.
They were trying to resurrect Vision for
what?
We would understand, like, yeah, why wouldn't you want to get Vision back? But also, why is it so specifically, like, weaponized? Like,
that's the thing, right? Did they even use the word weaponized? Because I think Darcy just said, like, they wanted to bring Vision back online, or they wanted to bring Vision back up or something like that. I could be wrong. I only watched episode once, but I didn't hear the word weaponized. So I'm like,
I think Monica said something like that.
Probably, yeah. I think Monica at this point is going to assume, like, the way Hayward's acting and everything, that they want to weaponize Vision.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, even if you brought Vision back online, how would you have control over him? He doesn't work like that, at least that we know of. He's not like a robot. He is a sentient being when he has the mind. I mean, the Mind Stone's kind of gone. Never mind.
Well, yeah, I'm like remembering like when Vision like first came alive in Ultron, he was immediately like fighting off people and stuff till he was like thrown at the window.
I still think there's going to be an instance of that conflicting with. I still think, especially what we saw last week, of kind of him being tethered to the Hex, of like conflicting power sources, I guess. Of like maybe there's some like a semblance of like Wanda is powering him and he is like actually not just that body. Of course, it would make sense. Again, we always talk about that same trailer shot of maybe she's trying to like figure out how it would like how she could break the Hex without losing him entirely or whatnot. And then whatever S.W.O.R.D is trying to do, maybe will conflict with that, and she'll have to get through that or figure something out.
Possibly, because at this point, I can understand them wanting to bring Vision back online. It is post Endgame; they need as much heroes as they can get. But at the same time,
memory of all things is probably what I would assume would be the thing, but maybe they don't understand the consequence of it.
Something I was like questioning while watching was just like thinking like of all people like trying to bring Vision back online, I was like, is S.W.O.R.D's really the one? Like, why wouldn't you get someone like Shuri or Bruce who like helped make?
That's a great question, because like we don't really know what's going on with Bruce right now.
To that point, I would say the reason probably they didn't is because they have ulterior motives.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true. Which makes it seem like that's the case. Like they have some kind of evil intention for bringing Vision back online. which makes it seem cool. Like Wanda kind of rescued him and brought him back to life, I guess, in this form.
Yeah.
And I still have Vision in terms of like my who's going to survive this series kind of list. Like I have the kids above Vision at this point. Like I think the kids have a more likelier chance of surviving than Vision. Even though I do still think like it would be great for Vision to stay alive after this. Like it would be kind of poetic if Vision, is like his consciousness and his identity is tied to Wanda for the rest of his life after this. Like because without the Mind Stone, like
I would also
like keeping them alive.
I would also kind of love like kind of this theme of like, especially as kind of highlighted in the conversation when Monica barges into the house and they're out in the yard of kind of like, I've gone through this grief stuff too. It sucks, but we got to live our truth in the present. I would love an instance where maybe Vision doesn't get his memories back and just presently moves on and shows Wanda that they can presently move on from that situation. I think that would be really poetic.
You know what, Carson? I'm with you on that because as I was watching him having that conversation with Darcy, I was like, I'm kind of cool with Vision, like getting the jumpstart of like what happened recently with Infinity War and Endgame and him moving on from that point. It reminds me of what they're possibly going to be doing with Gamora in Guardians 3. Like this is a completely new Gamora and they're going to have to catch her up or maybe not on like experiencing new relationships, new dynamics with an entirely new person because at this point, Vision is kind of new. And even he was asking that question to Darcy. He was like, what am I? Which is a very similar question his old self asked Wanda during Civil War when they were like having the paprika talk, whatever, in the apartment. He's like, I don't know what I am without this like mindset. I don't know the capabilities of who I am. So
can we just say one of the jokes early on in the episode? Wanda's like, yeah, they got my husband's got skin of vibranium. It's in there. It's quite literally in their blood.
Yes, they can. Yeah, they're fine.
I love that little joke.
That was great.
Man. Wow, I think I'm on like a different viewpoint. On the two characters, like I love the idea of that for Vision, but not so much for Gamora, just because that's like two separate entity souls, versus like Vision is like his own original body still.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I think I can definitely see that going down, especially since like Darcy was breaking like everything down. It's like, okay, so I used to be Jarvis and I was configured for Ultron, and now I am who I am and stuff. It was like that would be like interesting to see like that moving forward. And I think you could like if they don't have any like backup stories, then you can still like at least like teach him like everything that's transpired.
Yeah, totally. And if all else fails, like we could see Vision survive this and just hang out with Doctor Strange and everything in the
sanctum. I would love that.
That'd be so good.
So awesome.
I would love to see the like the pure like full white Vision look if they went all the way for that.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. But something is definitely going to happen. Again, we keep referencing that whole Wanda and the Mind Stone clip from the one trailer that I guess we all saw. So like that's going to be either next week or probably even the finale, which would be kind of crazy. Like what Vision's fate is going to be. I'm very curious. I hope he doesn't die, but I'm not crossing my fingers on that.
They said the ending of the show is epic and sad.
Yeah, I know. What's kind of new, right? Not a lot of MCU movies are necessarily sad. I mean, Guardians 2, Infinity War, like Civil War a little bit. So I'm very curious to see where this lands.
Can Wanda be happy? Goddamn.
Exactly, right? Goddamn.
I still
we got to get through Doctor Strange, and then
I still think they're making it enough like I do again. God, the conversation between Monica and her in the yard was so good. Of like, don't let them make you the villain. Like, I love that line of like, because as much as in S.W.O.R.D's perspective, she's doing all these crazy things. Like, we as an audience have sympathy for Wanda, and I think it makes such a powerful show. And they haven't like teetered off to the fact that like, oh, she's crazy now. Like everything is so calculated through these like stages of grief. I think that's where the show has really worked for me, is because like it actually has its reasoning for things. It doesn't feel like she's just going crazy to go crazy.
Completely agree. Nathan mentioned it after like I saw some of his tweets after he watched the episode. I'm like, this show is just too good. It's too good. Yeah. Like the emotional development that this show is tackling in such a unique way. Like this is the MCU. Like they're tackling like the emotional development of a certain character in
Better than the Mandalorian.
You're right. I mean, like
Hands
it's tackling like serious subject matter through a way that's both goofy, fun, but also very serious.
And flexing like several different genres / film style / like methods of whatever it's doing.
Methods
it's
of grief.
So good, and I'm just like, wow, I'm just impressed. I think it's gonna stick the landing. Like even with its twist this episode, it felt completely earned. We've been speculating for weeks of all the little breadcrumbs that have been there for weeks on end, and they've been smart ones and little lines and like little facial expressions, even for like when she's like standing with the neighbor. And then I loved how it overlapped and we got to see her like behind her perspective of like, change, like kind of like laughing, or Vision's like explaining. I love it. Like she looked away and then we got the camera from the other side of the car. I'm like, that's so cool. Like, and
amazing.
Then that whole set too at the end. Oh, I can't wait to talk about that.
Ooh, yeah, let's
calm down there, Carson.
I'm sorry, it was so good.
I'm back. Let's discuss Monica breaching the hex wall. We first kick it up. Okay, so a lot of people are of a confused mindset of whether or not the woman she was talking to was the engineer.
Major Grodner, I think her name was.
Yeah, I don't think so, because like just because like the actress of Monica like herself was saying like, oh, I can't wait for you guys to see who the engineer is gonna be. It's gonna be crazy. Like and then like this person, and if it's this person, they were gone within like 30 seconds.
There's no way it's them.
No.
This is the thing, right?
I'm pretty sure they were just saying like, yeah, we like, I got this out here for you. So it's probably from the person. Like it's not
1,000%. Like right. Like I thought the same thing you're thinking, Nathan. I watched the episode. I talked to my brother. I'm like, okay, so I guess they're not going to reveal the person, the scientist, this episode. They'll probably reveal it at a later episode, saying like she got it, or the Major Goodner character got it from this scientist person. I didn't take it as like she is a scientist. She was wearing a military vest. Like she's obviously not like the specific scientist. So I was cool with it.
And she's tied to her mom in like some, and obviously like people that are still like loyal to the Rambos, of like that's like the whole loyalty piece of like, hey, whatever you need, like. So it didn't seem like it was like the new person or whatever, whoever it's going to be. I completely agree on that front.
Yeah, that being said, I'm tired of these actors always hyping up certain stuff.
I know.
Like, first of all,
Skywalker can.
Yeah, but Paul Bettany is like, oh man, I can't wait to talk to this actor who we're probably going to see in the finale. So them tying it on, I'm like, just don't even bring it up. Just don't even bring it up. I know you got to hype up your show, but come on.
I was watching that interview, and Bettany was even like, well, I mean, Marvel's probably going to shoot me for that, but
like, I know, right? Yeah, he's a hype man. I like Paul, but still. Yeah. And then
which is funny. It's funny because I remember this like during the Infinity War press junket. He may have said it to Tom Holland. Like he was saying like the alternative like overseas version of snitches get stitches. He said
yes,
snitches end up in ditches. And I was like, what the hell, Paul? Like,
I love that quote. That was one of the funnier interviews. Everybody was like, whoa, dude, hold on, chill, calm down. That's extreme. That was funny. But yeah, and then Monica Tina, the scientist, she's like, oh, the scientist reveal is going to be big. I mean, I can't wait for people to see it. I'm like, is this going to be some Marvel character? Now everybody's theorizing it's Reed Richards because, of course, he's the only scientist that fans know. I'm just like, it's not going to be Reed Richards. I'm done. It's not.
What's funny is like as soon as like the truck came out that she's driving through, I was like, I could see this as a Fantastic Four design. I was like,
honestly, me too.
Yeah,
but I still think like this is 1,000, a million, a cajillion % not Reed Richards. I mean, if it is, great hiding from Lucasfilm. From Marvel Studios. What's the difference? But yeah. I'm pretty sure it's like somebody random. I'm pretty sure there's some other comic book character that people don't know about.
Yeah. Anywho, they get this big moon rover.
Like, yeah, and we're like trying to truck through, and like you think like, oh, it's gonna break, and then it just starts ramping up, and
it
it's like,
scared me so much.
Also, it was cool.
Catch up the wall.
Like, it was great because like while the windshield was like on like the hex, it was like, this looks like 2001 right now. It's just like we're just going through it, and then it's starting to like engulf, and then this was another point where I was, and she's like in this like astronaut suit again. I'm like, this feels Fantastic Four esque. Just like everything in my brain is just like tainted with Fantastic Four now. But she's like, she hops out, and it has this like cool image of like being like half of like a pickup truck, half of the rover,
and staying like that outside the hex, which is cool.
Yeah, and then she's just she's so committed to saving Wanda, which is so great. She's just gonna like charge headfirst and no helmet either. She's just going straight for it.
Did you guys think the rover thing was going to work? Because I did for a second. I'm like, okay, I think this is how she's going to get in.
I was like saying like in like the in between of my cuts for my video, I was like, I remember seeing that clip of it just like charging through, and it did cut away after a second, but I was like, it seems like it's going at a great momentum, like, but no, it didn't.
I thought it would work. And then when she tried to hurry up and leave, like, and make sure the hex wall wasn't touching her, I'm like, oh, like, is something bad going to happen? But then she just ran right in, so I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, I think she was like, remembering like, the molecular structure of me like changed twice.
Because it changed the truck, and we even see it. As she's going through. We see the different versions of her per se that Wanda had already outfitted her as going through.
And Geraldine.
And so we can see that kind of like just like conflicting with itself, because obviously this thing is expanded and she's losing control of it, and kind of like and then she gets through it. She still has her normal costume and everything, because Wanda really didn't have to change her, or it just doesn't have that agency to do so right now, because it's just like there's so much going on.
I think Wanda didn't change it because like the suit was from that, or I don't know why. Never mind. I was gonna say the suit's from like the timeline or something, but timeline got changed because of Modern Family and everything.
But then her eyes start glowing, and I'm like, here we go.
Yes. Oh, no. Before that though, when she's like splitting into the multiple like persons, look, great effect, great like charge through. It looked like interesting visual. I wouldn't like have expected. It looked great, just like the glitch effect, and then as soon as like all syncs together, and like the whole time she's like hearing people from her past. She's hearing her mom. She's hearing Carol. She's hearing.
I think I heard Nick Fury. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like one of his lines when she was a child, like in the Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Which was great. And then she's like building that inspiration. She charged it all together, and then like her eyes are glowing. I'm like, oh, we're here. I was so hyped. And then she like gets through, and then she's like seeing like on acid. But
in the comic book, she goes by a lot of different like names. At one point, she was like Captain Marvel, Photon, but one name in particular, Spectrum, is one that she went by in the comic books as well. And when she's looking at the hex through her new eyes, it looked like it was a spectrum of the hex, like in a way that she was looking at the artificial configuration of like what the hex was looking like in a blue lens kind of way.
Isn't Spectrum a cable streaming service?
Yeah,
like it is. I do have it actually. Perfect. I wouldn't be here without Spectrum.
Which makes it even better considering the whole broadcast
of all time.
Exactly.
Oh, that's genius.
So yeah, I do also want to note that like the way like her the design of her sword shirt undershirt is similar to kind of like how her
outfit
costume looks.
Yeah. They even had her do like the superhero landing when she escaped through the hex. She was like looking up and the camera panned up. I'm like, okay, because it's kind of like symbolizing this is what her comic book outfit kind of looks like, with the white and black.
She straight up did do another superhero landing when like Wanda was throwing her down, but she like stopped
I love that. Yeah. Wanda's like,
oh shit.
Which let's talk about that. She's charged in trying to explain to Wanda like how things. She is like under the impression that like maybe not Hayward, but like S.W.O.R.D in general is trying to bring back Vision. I still don't know like where the like true lies are.
Yeah, what's gonna happen there? Yeah.
But she's trying to explain to Wanda, who's just like, no, get out, stop it. Like everything else is wrong. You're just making it worse. She's freaking out. But it was great because like the fact that Monica does have these powers now and she can like resist. I straight up thought we were having a battle. like it was about to happen.
I know. Wanda starts like loading up and I'm like, oh, what's good?
And Monica's just like, do it. I was like, oh no, wait.
Please.
I'm glad it didn't turn out into a full fight because I'm like
Yeah.
the motivation there is very much lacking. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I really don't want them to have a full fight.
The conversation was so
but the
worth it.
conversation was great. It was amazing. Loved it.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. But then like you see like across the street behind the window, Agnes is like peering in, seeing what's going on. And then she comes to intervene real quick. Just like you overstayed your welcome, and just takes her away for some tea. And I'm just like, oh, okay. It's suspicious, but at the same time, I didn't think we were gonna get a full Agnes reveal. I was just like, all right, we're gonna see what happens.
I love the little detail of as soon as that confrontation kind of stops. If you look closely, everybody in the vicinity like resumes their like loop of like going about their day. I think we see like some male guy doing that, but if you look like in the background, there's someone like mowing their lawn and they just like resume, and like it's crazy that like because all of her attention was on Monica in that moment, and then
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah. So what do you guys think her powers are? Is she gonna have those blue eyes for the remaining time? I mean, for the rest of her life?
They phased off like pretty like immediately when she came in, when she like refocused her normal vision. So I think it's something she probably like cycle in and out of.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be a cycling thing. It won't be like a Scott Summer where he's like, oh, I don't have control of my eyes.
I wasn't thinking that, but okay. But yeah. So I wonder what her powers said. I mean, it seems pretty close to the comic books in the comic books. She has similar like energy absorption and release kind of powers, similar to Captain Marvel. So I'm curious, but also in terms of spectrum, like she could see like using her new eyes, she could see like the outline of certain magic, I guess, or something like that. So
yeah,
I'm curious to see like
where it goes.
Yeah,
mid-credit scene. And also, before we get into the big stuff here, I think episode 8 is actually going to be pretty flashback heavy in terms of
people keep saying that. Where's that coming from?
Well, because I think we gotta establish Agatha's motivation a little bit in terms of like, unless that's just all played out and like, oh, blah, 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 just explaining it to
that's
her.
What I was thinking, like exposition, walk around the cave, be evil, shit
so,
like that.
Yeah, it could be like I'd be totally fine with that, but also, I think they gotta play up if they're doing this vision thing, they gotta play up like, was Wanda like just suspicious of that, and are we going to get a little bit more information, or is it just going to happen in the present? I don't know. So I think we're going to get a little bit of context on those answers.
Somebody had a hilarious photo edit of like these like marionetting like just higher up, and it was like Vision, Wanda, Pietro, Agnes, Ralph. Like, so, but yeah, it was great. Like just like immediately when she comes in, like the tone kind of shifts. And even like the way it's like being shot, I was like, am I watching The Conjuring right now? Like, why is it a horror
Very
film?
ominous, yeah.
It's very like it looked like a modern horror, and I was like, that's cool. They were like cutting around like really like creepy stuff, like there's a fly crawling around, which real
quick before this, I don't think we mentioned Billy and Tommy. Billy was talking to Agnes saying like, I hear things, but I don't hear anything inside of your head. Something like that. It's like
you've closed yourself off from the force.
Wow.
I didn't see you.
Yeah, it's literally gonna be like, we're gonna cut to Ralph in bed, and he's gonna be like Agnes, like, Ralph. I need to stop.
But yeah, so at that point when Billy was like, I can't see anything inside, like I hear voices, but nothing inside you. And Agnes was like, oh, okay. I was like, sus, get her out. Ejectocito, get out. She gotta go.
But I guess she got them first because we don't see him again for the rest of the episode. And,
apparently, yeah.
And even like Wanda straight away is like, hey, where's the twins? And like, oh, they're in the basement. I believe you. All right, let's go down.
I was like, is this the visit? Like, what is going on?
It's the episode of Stay Out of the Basement from Goosebumps.
So yeah, we go down like we get these vines, and it's like a whole like witch's lair.
That's what I'm saying. It's the vine. It's the Goosebumps.
Yeah, immediately, I was like, okay, so this makes a lot of sense with the Doctor Strange connection, because as soon as he walks out into that cave or that basement reveal, I'm like, okay.
there's a straight up spell book. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a spell book. There's weird looking drapes everywhere. I'm like, okay.
And at first, my brain was like,
Yeah.
like I was like, I don't know if it's Mephisto, like Nightmare maybe, because I'm trying to connect. But then they're just like, no, fool Agatha.
Right.
But I mean, I don't want to. I guess we can get into it now. But I'm like, Agatha is a strong witch, but it's still possible that she could be working for a higher power.
For sure.
She could be working for a higher cosmic entity, which could be Mephisto. It could be Nightmare. I don't want to rule Mephisto completely out. I think I'm ruling out the multiverse stuff, but Mephisto, it's still like I'll give it like a 20% chance of actually happening at this point because she still could be working for a cosmic entity that wants Wanda.
Yeah, and I think the kids are either leverage for that, or I think because I think in the comics when I was reading about when I was all on my Mephisto craze,
because you read the comic books, right, Carson?
Yeah, because she like sold her soul to Mephisto or something, so there could be some motivation there in terms of like what she's trying to do, maybe to like get it back or do something like I don't know what that would be.
Yeah,
I just scared myself. Just like remember how we have like so much multiverse talk between like Spider-Man, and then we're like talking about Mephisto here, and I'm like, don't do the story, don't do one more day, don't do one more day, no.
Oof.
Oh
Yeah.
God,
I don't think any Spider-Man writer wants to talk about that ever.
yeah,
again.
they won't. It's like the same, like they probably won't ever do like. Honestly, if you like did the Clone Saga, like in better writing, it would be fun. Probably
In terms of Doc Ock, that Clone Saga.
no, in terms of just like the different like.
Different
I guess
Peters.
like the Ben Riley stuff. I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't even mind that. But yeah, so I still think like Nightmare, Mephisto, it's still a possibility. It's funny because I saw on Twitter people are like, "Oh, the fly on the wall, Mephisto."
I have a note here from Noah.
Okay, go ahead.
Mephisto is an extra-dimensional demon who first appeared as a fly.
Yep.
In the comics.
Again, I think it's just a nod. I think our original speculation,
it would be like
beginning
really
is that, like,
deep if they go all that way. Like,
right. Exactly. I think our original.
You would have to cut back to like, oh, here's the fly. Actually,
right. Like,
yeah.
What was I saying? I originally our speculation was that if there is that overarching like third party big bad, it's gonna come up later in the MCU in a bigger context, and then we'll probably have Agatha or something be like the main front of it during the show. So I don't think we're gonna see any big bad during the show, and I'm glad that we're probably just gonna be all through Agatha.
Me too. I mean, it's still possible. Next week or the finale, Agatha's gonna be like, okay. Like I was hired by Mephisto to do this stuff.
Oh,
and
God. It's been Agatha all along. The lyrics.
Yeah, I know. I'm super happy about that. I'm like, all these crazy out there reaching theories. Like MCU is simple. The simple explanation is the creepy neighbor who we've seen in every single episode is the villain, which we've all theorized about. But it wasn't really surprising. But the execution of it all, the whole reveal and everything was spectacular.
Let's talk about like the motivations. What do you guys think here? Because we get the little montage like reveal stuff, and we see that like she created Pietro, and then some of the I can't remember the other possibly like at least maybe influence.
She's controlling him, but we don't know if she created. Wanda could have created Pietro, and then she started controlling Pietro.
Yeah, so that's still up in the air. But there was like other little things that she was like controlling throughout, and I'm like, what is her end? I'm still just questioning what her end game is in order to like does she want the hex to like go explode, or like what does she want to make her more mad, or like I'm confused what she wants.
I could see like maybe if they want to like have the hex engulf the world, but like stay like intact. Maybe it
could cripple Earth, right? In a sense, like it could.
I mean, to like basically like take control of everybody. I could see that. I mean, especially if we are going like a form of Mephisto route of like grabbing every soul, like that would be maybe. I don't really know the motivation.
In Doctor Strange, in the original Doctor Strange too, like there's always and just like throughout, just like protecting your reality, douchebag. Like just like all those like existential things of like if like the sanctums or whatever else fall, we really haven't seen that like really fall to like where reality itself becomes even such a a vulnerable place for people on Earth. So I think that would be an interesting through line. I don't know how it's gonna happen or like who's gonna be influencing it, but I think it's either whatever ends and this show, Wanda's gonna have to either attend to with Doctor Strange, or maybe they're maybe it's Doctor Strange going against her for a tiny bit and then bring her back around with the help. But it's kind of sketchy there. I hope they just keep her like on the good the whole time and not try to do that.
That's doing too much.
Yeah, so we'll see.
But there's a lot to dive in here with. Like, I think one of the main things I think that we have to acknowledge, like, in terms of the Agatha all along thing, I see a lot of people thinking Agatha started the hex or Agatha's controlling everything. Like, no. I think it's important to differentiate. I think it's important to differentiate the power sets here. I think the show did a smart thing of making Wanda red and Agatha purple in terms of distinguishing the powers here. But also, I think it's important to note, I think Wanda created all this. Like, what was stated in episode 4 is still real, like when Monica said, like, it's all Wanda. I still think it is all Wanda creating the hex, controlling the minds of everybody in the town. I don't think Agatha is controlling everything. I think she's specifically manipulating certain events, certain characters from each episode, but not not everything. To what end, I have no idea. But I think Agatha is not controlling everything. Agatha's not the center of the hex. It's not like if you defeat Agatha, then the hex disappears.
Then the hex disappears.
I don't think that's the case. It's still Wanda.
It's interesting of like trying to like piece everything together because a lot of people were like suggesting like when like Norm was like broken out, all he said was like she's in my head. He never specified Wanda, and then like the next person we talked to was Agatha herself. But I think if it was anybody but Wanda, Darcy probably would have said as much because she got snapped out of it and she didn't really try to like specify that.
Great point. Yeah.
So I think a lot of this is definitely Wanda. It was just like she was like swayed to want to, whether she knowingly did or not, want to do this stuff because of Agatha's actions and like different causalities. And I'd be curious to see like if she had an effect pre-hex to motivate her to go and steal Vision away.
I think
that's why I think we may get in episode 8.
I think a lot of this still has to do with Wanda's emotional state, right? I think like the way that she reacts to everybody going into her realm, into the hex, it seems like she actively personally wanted to have her own simple life with Wanda or with Vision and the kids. I think that's what it simply came down to. Everything after that, all the craziness spurred on by Agatha.
Yeah,
in terms of
I would be curious like how Wanda moves from like A to B because last time we saw her before the show was at the funeral in Endgame talking to Hawkeye, and she like fully acknowledged that Vision was gone.
Yeah, so I can see Agatha whispering in her ear like the devil on her shoulder, being like spurring on emotions that Wanda already had. It wasn't like Agatha saying, "Oh, go to the suburbs with Vision and live off your life." Like, I think Wanda inside really wanted that, but I think we could possibly see Agatha show up because she knows how vulnerable Wanda is, on top of how powerful Wanda is, so she could like use that for her advantage. Don't
take this seriously, but crazy theory would be if like Agatha was disguised at the funeral as like
no
I don't even believe this, but like if she's
Nick Fury.
If she was disguised as Fury because he's off somewhere far in space in like 3 weeks time. Imagine if they revealed that. Like the big reveal is like, oh, Nick Fury's here. But wait, actually like,
she's a Skrull.
It's Mephisto.
Secret invasion.
Oh my god, how many TikToks have I seen today? I think they're going to Secret Wars. Like,
are you serious? Oh man, that's why I can't. I don't have a TikTok.
Look, I would like to see Secret Wars, but like way down the line. I
mean, the Russos want to do Secret Wars very badly.
They're tired right now, though. They're just like, it's Cherry.
We just
do Cherry.
Cherry really took it out of him, didn't
we? Got our
No. I'm saying like they're gonna go with doing Cherry instead of like because they were just so exhausted from back to back.
Oh, Cherry. I can't wait to dissect that movie. I can't wait to do our Cherry review, guys.
I really want to see it, dude. Like,
man.
ironically, I do. But...
I have my Apple subscription ready. I'm ready to press play. But yeah, so I think Agatha, at the very least, spurred on Wanda to do what Wanda always wanted to do. Because the way Wanda reacts to everything, like she really did just want to have a simple life and live her life with Vision. But Agatha's reasoning, either A, she's doing this for a cosmic villain, Nightmare Mephisto, or it's just all her, which I would like even more so.
I'm remembering from the show like there was like during the montage, I think she's influencing something at the talent show. And I'm like, what
the
was
rabbit,
she doing?
right?
Yeah, or something.
Well, they just like cut back to her like at the talent show. She is like something or other. I don't know. But she is like there presently. I think that's where the title card came on.
It's just interesting.
I think it's just like to show like the knowing looks like around.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Agatha turns out to be a very sympathetic antagonist here, because I could see her being like, "Hey, I just wanted to do this because," and she could probably play it off in like a goofy, creepy, witch-like manner. But I can see her doing this because, like, I just wanted to do this because I wanted to bring somebody back, or I wanted to do this.
Yeah, or
I
her soul can't rest or something. I think there's something along
I can't see it being like, well, I wanted to manipulate the entire world and control everybody using your hex, Wanda. Like,
there was
I don't see that happening, but it could. But I just don't see that happening.
I saved a comic panel of Wanda and Vision talking with Agatha.
Okay.
And basically she had like such an intrigue of like the twins. And it was like an interesting thing to Agatha, like, she was like in the panel, it was saying like she like would have seen it sooner if she wasn't trying to resurrect herself. And she just found it like interesting that like Tommy and Billy seem to disappear whenever Wanda's not around. Which would be an interesting thing. However, we've already kind of established that Tommy and Billy are existing because they were alone with Agatha.
We haven't seen them outside of the hex, so we'll see.
They could play on that, but
true.
I hope they flip down on the head a little bit and say, hey, they are alive.
I still think they're like captured somewhere by Agatha, whether they're like in like some interdimensional locked realm, which I've seen plenty of times. Primarily
dimension jail.
No, I was literally thinking about that, and like something like I was thinking back to like the '90s Spider-Man cartoon when there was a whole plot with Dormammu in the '90s Spider-Man, trying to get everything going there. Hello, viewer.
What's up?
Oh, hello there.
Finally, engagement. But no, no. What I was gonna say. Okay, yeah, real quick. I did want to address once again my weekly addressment of multiverse Pietro.
Go right ahead.
I still think he is a multiverse Quicksilver that was pulled by Agatha, because like at some point we gotta address multiverse breakout stuff. We're 2 episodes away from tying into Doctor Strange's multiverse of madness. You can't tell me we're not.
Pull up the comment once. Al Pacino.
Oh yeah, this is going around because they were like, "Well, Betty loves Al Pacino."
That would be
whenever I see Al Pacino, I just think of
and then they were like, he played the devil once, and I was like, this doesn't hold merit. Look, I mean, it would be interesting, but I mean, Mephisto. Okay, that's actually like I think it'd be.
I saw Cillian Murphy as fan casted him way back in like week 2, and I'm like, I love that casting.
Cillian is anything really.
Man looks great for whatever role. Okay, I do kind of would find it interesting if they did combine Mephisto and Nightmare.
That's also a good point.
They could do that. Brought up. But I don't think they would ever combine. Like if I'm Marvel,
no, they would want to.
Why would I waste to do that? Exactly.
That's something you like try to like do workarounds with when you don't have as much power as you do now.
Exactly. Yeah, but Marvel is like, we can have a whole series about Mephisto. We're gonna have a whole movie about Nightmare. So why?
Especially because they have Disney Plus too to like flesh it out in like
completely.
Or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't think they would ever combine it. Again, I'm not completely going to rule out Mephisto or Nightmare showing up in these last 2 episodes. I doubt it, but it's still possible. On Nathan's multiverse thing though with Pietro.
We'll say to address this, it's not confirmed that Strange is showing up in WandaVision, but it's like highly 80%, like it's highly like probable just based on that Wanda is going to be a prominent role in Multiverse Madness.
I
Exactly.
still think it's going to be like the bookend of the show. Like once the emotional resolution is over, it'll be like that kind of falling action scene of like
it
It'll be the
could be like
mid-credit scene.
yeah.
it made credits. It's like 'cause I know they're teasing like all these actors to show up, but like they're not teasing that for solely like credit scenes. That's going to be like factored within plot, like existing.
Yeah.
Right.
The delicious.
Yeah, we're big fans of this episode overall.
Love it a lot.
Love
But
it.
yeah, the Pietro stuff, Evan, you were saying.
But yeah, I'm not going to completely be as out there in denial of the multiverse thing as I was last week. When I saw it, I don't
Embrace
you
it,
have me,
Evan.
Nathan.
One of us.
But like when I saw Agatha manipulating Pietro in the back a little bit, I'm like, okay, so right now Pietro could be a multiverse thing where Agatha sprouted him from the multiverse, knowing that Wanda was talking about him earlier that episode, specifically like episode 5. So I'm like, Wanda or Agatha could have used that as a good excuse to get my agent here, my secret agent, Pietro, because she's going to be controlling him the entire time. So maybe that's it. But also, Pietro can still just be a construct of whatever some other mystical figure or whatever. Or I still my idea still stands that he was just a construct of Wanda, of Wanda's grief, warped grief, because it's not Aaron Taylor Johnson, it's just warped grief, and that's how you brought in Evan Peters' face and everything. And then Agatha just controlled that.
I just need Vision to do a mind thing on Pietro.
We all do,
we
right?
Can get some knowledge.
But because at the end of this episode, did he have purple eyes?
Who?
Or was that Pietro?
It really wasn't close enough to focus.
Yeah, we couldn't tell. It wasn't a close up.
We know Monica had purple. Monica had a purple like eyes when she looked back at Pietro.
Did she?
Yeah, I rewinded it. She had. Go back to.
It
go
wasn't.
to the clip.
It wasn't her blue eyes. Like
show the clip.
alarm.
Show the clip. No, it was purple.
You're saying they were purple, not like the bright blue when she first walked out?
It was purple. I know the difference between blue and purple, motherfucker.
Maybe.
I could be colorblind. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was purple.
What color am I illuminated by right now on this?
Yeah, we brought this up earlier of this
right? You don't know?
We brought up this escaped artist thing earlier in the episode of like
Let me go away from full screen.
It's just so layered. It's so cool how they kind of wrap this all up. And we're talking about how much we love Darcy too, in terms of like how quickly she just like after Vision like woke her up, she's like, all right, we gotta go. We got to get on the road. We got to figure this out. So
yeah, she has great comedic timing. She got her start in doing comedy, so I love the way she was just like totally writing with it. But yeah, I'm very curious to see what's up with Pietro. I could be completely wrong with the multiverse thing. I don't think I am, but it is possible.
I don't think it will show up well, but yeah, you're right. They are very purple. Than the bluish tint. Like they're not even like the bright blue. They're just kind of like I think like immediately. Which brings into question the effects that Pietro is working off of and his
right. Like, what is going on? Like, because he does have super speed.
Yes.
Like, I don't think Agatha can manipulate that.
No. So. Which why I think she pulled one.
Which is you're exactly right. So that is very much a possible thing right now. I am not against that anymore. But also, I think it could just still all be Wanda. So Wanda more so than Agatha. Either way, watch it be like some weird henchman that Agatha has that just turned into Pietro. That'd be very funny. Kind of like a Shmi to Dr. Hook kind of thing. Or
there's so many question marks still, and I'm just so excited to see what happens. Like, especially we gotta see. We talked about all the Vision stuff in terms of what S.W.O.R.D wants with him, and maybe him existing through Wanda's kind of powers, and all that stuff. Plus, now we have Agnes doing all this, and and that's just the hex has got to be absolved in some way, or maybe expanded completely again, or to the fact
it's gonna pop
ubiquitous in wherever in the world, I guess. man, I love how I couldn't tell you how this show is gonna end in that like in a good way, but and I just think there's so much potential for the emotional kind of thing.
At this point, it's possible that Luke Skywalker comes in and just rescues Wanda. I mean, that's just what I'm thinking. I mean, isn't it funny how like at this point in Mando season 2, I think episode 7, I was like, they're communicating with Luke Skywalker. He's probably going to show up. I don't want it to happen, but it's probably going to happen. But at this point, I have no idea what's going to happen. I can assume there's going to be some kind of mystical battle between Wanda, Monica, and Agatha. I can't wait for that.
This is why I already before the end of the show, I'm already saying WandaVision's better than Mando because so far everything has been better than what I got from the finale of the choice of Luke coming in.
And not to mention, I just think it's a better written show from the jump.
Yeah.
Which is so weird because Marvel prides itself on connection, but for some reason, like I was going to tweet this whole rant on my Twitter. I'll save it for the podcast because I'm like, imagine a character coming into WandaVision episode 4, 5, or 6, whatever, and just saying like, I know, and just saying like, hey, Wanda, where is Tony? And Tony has nothing to do with WandaVision, but you're just going to tease it because it's going to tease a totally different TV show. That's not happening. That happened with Mando, where Ahsoka's like, "Where's Thrawn?" It had nothing to do with Mando at all.
Where's
but like, imagine some other character just trying to tease another show. Marvel doesn't have to do that. They're just focusing on Wanda. They're focusing on WandaVision. There's no teases for any other spin-off or any other character or anything like that.
And even with the information that if you were just jumping into the MCU, it catches you up to the point that it doesn't like it catches that balance of like, hey, some stuff is going on. Her husband died, but like everybody's kind of suspicious right now, and this is kind of a fake reality. You kind of get the gist of it without having to be like 17 different plot beats, even though there has been that many before this of like their relationship. So it like just works on its own and is a connective thing, and it doesn't like try to like bridge either of those two things super heavily just for the sake of doing it. And it does it for the sake of character instead of everything else.
For the sake of character, which is so important because like I like Boba Fett, but he didn't change Mando as a character one bit. Like he came in, kicked ass, and became a limousine driver for the rest of the season. Like. Am I wrong? Like Mando's character didn't really change much with Boba Fett's introduction.
Think how much stuff we could say about Wanda's character each week versus what you could say about Din Djarin.
Yeah,
in a whole season, maybe even like
at most, like the people that changed him, I would say were Cobb Vanth and Bo-Katan. Like, not really like having to conform to like Mando ways and stuff. But they were still early on in the season.
But it never even followed through with those.
It didn't follow through.
No, you're right. It brought him up like in the first meeting discussions. It would bring stuff up and then it'd be like, all right, lesson learned. Let's go.
Yeah, because even by the end, Mando was like holding the dark saber, like I don't get it, what's happening. So it's like
also it's just amusing of just like when I look at like these two shows, I feel like the biggest thing I see is just like people freaking out weekly, with just like all the cool different stuff that WandaVision is doing. Of just like, wow, look at all this stuff we're doing with like these visuals, but also look at the like grief stuff and like the subtext is great. Meanwhile, whenever I see comparisons for Mando, it's like, look how cool this scene looks. Look how we're mirroring old cinema. Like, which, it's fun when Star Wars does, but it's not as deep.
It doesn't mean anything. Yeah, exactly. Like, and the best part about Mando is the relationship between Baby Yoda and Din, but that can only go so far.
They've now taken.
Yeah, you're right. So, but now we can finally learn about who Din is.
I used to be of a mindset of like, we don't have to like, because Evan was always saying like Mando without Baby Yoda there is no show, and I was like, oh, that's not necessary. But now I'm like, but where's the core?
I mean, I hope it positions it to the fact that they come back with season 3 and it's like the challenge is now that we've kind of finally unlocked Din a little bit. I mean, it's
3 seasons in.
I hope we can dive into some stuff now.
Yeah. Me too.
Okay, we're going so far.
We are, but I'm absolutely loving WandaVision, just handling grief in a very good way. I was very nervous earlier on. I'm like, are they going to like make Wanda to be the crazy person just to do? Yeah, just to do. just to do the House of M scenario, but it seems like they're going to do that reverse House of M thing, but in a more organic way.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me just real quick.
Yeah, sure. Let's see it.
Not necessarily. Let's address this. He's like wondering if the stones would factor into Multiverse of Madness since they're in different universes.
Oh.
I don't overly think we're going to like retread the stones again, just because we spent 23 films locking into that Infinity Saga. I feel like at most, if you were to go as far as to tackle a stone, it would be the Mind Stone currently, because we know there's going to be like one exploration of it in WandaVision, and I don't know if like maybe they need to grab it again to resurrect Vision if they were to go that route. I don't know.
But where is it, right? It's gone. So
Yeah.
And also,
like...
I could see them talking about the Time Stone a little bit because of the scene we get with the Sorcerer Supreme. And
I mean, unless they like go the route of going into like the realm that Loki's in for his show, because we know like he took that Tesseract away, which kind of falls out that plan. So I mean, if they want to like grab his scepter or something from that.
Speaking of Loki and the time variants, we didn't talk about the commercial, which talked about Nexus.
Yes, we totally
it was mostly about the whole depression thing. That was the surface level of it all. But Nexus is a realm in the Marvel universe. It's a realm out of time and everything.
Okay, so the Nexus is a cross-dimensional gateway which provides a pathway to any and all possible realities. This includes realities between realities. It is unknown whether it was created by some being or just if it's that the one place in the entire multiverse where all realities naturally intersect.
Talk about Multiverse of Madness.
Exactly.
This is totally where... And that's why I say not that the Time Stone will be like, I think it will at least be brought up, like, because in Doctor Strange we basically given like several history lessons of how important it is to like maintaining this balance of like keeping this protected, yada yada yada, and now that whatever is going to happen at the end of this could lead to like now there's a nexus of blah 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 opening up, and I could totally see that scene in the beginning of a Sanctum, in the beginning of like. This is what it looked like before, and now this is what it looks like. You know those like visuals of what Earth looked like on those little like wizard holograms in Doctor Strange. I could totally see that in the beginning. But yeah, it's fascinating because it's kind of like a dream within a dream concept. It's like Inception, but like multiverse.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that's an hour of WandaVision. So
I think we aired it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we should dive into like a lot of the hey Carson, how confident would you be in share screening some trailers?
I got you.
It's like he dies inside.
They ripped my internet.
Like, damn it. I'm sorry.
Okay. We don't have to do 0.25 speed for these though. No. Yeah.
What? No, I'm gonna copyright either way.
There's a new Winter Soldier TV spot. Oh, I don't want to see that.
It's like a minute long.
I haven't seen the last trailer. It's
like a minute long. It's nothing. They're reusing.
Which one are we doing first? Cruella or Snyder Cut or
whatever Nathan wants to do?
Oh, it's my channel. Let's go ahead and do Cruella.
That's what I was typing in, so you guessed right.
Okay, thanks.
I typed CR, and I hope that you would say Cruella.
Cruella Kombat?
Oh, Cruella Kombat, yeah. Nice.
Crack Snyder. Crack Snyder. Oh god, please. I need a Crack Snyder parody account.
You're gonna get the Snyder Cut fans coming at us in the comments.
Oh,
how dare you disrespect the god that is Zack Snyder?
Evan.
Here we go.
we
were joking about this
before we went live.
Yeah, thank you for the comment. But I'm like, Disney or WB Joker didn't invent crazy people. It's funny, but yeah, I love it.
Oh my god, I died.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cruella.
I love that hair. I mean, Emma Stone with the red hair.
Biggest thing for me is how visually gorgeous this looks compared to a lot of like Disney kind of, movies that are the Aladdin
live actions.
Yeah, live actions.
I guarantee you, if there was just like an out of context set photo of Emma Stone with red hair in like the time right now, everybody would be like, "Oh my god, is she an alternate universe Mary Jane?"
Exactly right.
I don't
Oh, man.
actually like fully remember the full like plot of 101 Dalmatians.
I couldn't tell you at all either.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
couldn't tell.
I know
why
she
do you hate
wants-
dogs again? Because she wants a dog coat, right?
Yeah, she loves the fashion. She wants to skin those dogs. Like
This shot is so cool. I love
that
it.
is cool.
Beautiful.
And
How did she do that?
somebody had a hilarious tweet of like, I don't want y'all like crapping on Cruella when Angelina Jolie shows up at the end to talk about Kingdom Hearts.
I know, right? I was like, I would lose it. That would be amazing. But yeah, look at that. I mean, the costuming, the world, the sets. Just
Her voice as well.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. It
Doing a
actually
great
does
act-
look like it's probably gonna be like a mix of like, because I think it's a short film, 101 Dalmatians. I think it's gonna be a mix of like starting off of like where she's coming from, that will then also go into like her OG plot of 101 Dalmatians from her side.
Yeah, because they have to make her, or they have to make this a compelling movie. They can't just be like, and this is why she hates Dalmatians.
And I don't think it's going to be
yeah.
a thing where it's like the
Yeah.
left and where you bounce back and forth between villainy. Like I think we'll understand where she's coming from, but like it's going to be like, no, she's a villain. Like,
which is why I completely love this trailer when she's like, what is it? Like, I'm mad, I'm bad, and I'm just a little like crazy or whatever, something like that. Because she's acknowledging how she is the villain of this story. Like, the thing I hated about the first Maleficent and even the second one, it's like you're turning her into a good person and you're making the kingdom like the a-holes in the situation. Like, no.
I kind of like that, but yeah. That's it.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, this I was thinking like it's like interesting, like, because this is probably the first like Disney like live action remake era kind of movie that's been for kind of like it kind of seems like it's for like the 13 to 14-year-old kind of
dark and gritty,
but like not dark and gritty, but like
I'm just kidding. Yeah,
it takes itself like a tiny bit more seriously, and I kind of like I think that's cool that it like at least, and you can tell that right away, just like tonally that it's just different and
not dark and gritty, but under the shade of a tree.
there you go. That beautiful.
Did you come up with that?
Yeah.
I love
beautiful. That. I know. Wow.
I'm a writer.
You need to go write your haikus on Ghost of Tsushima right now.
Oh man.
I'm just gonna stop talking. That's the best.
I mean, yeah.
I wanted to
follow up that.
Like,
I've been writing too many haikus in Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, I can tell. But yeah, I like the tone that they're going for. Like even though like Carson said, it is seemingly kind of dark here. It still seems really goofy. It seems goofy, and it's like similar to what Fast and the Furious is doing, right? Like they're not taking itself too seriously here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
It seems like a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I'm on board. And this was supposed to come out last year, right? Like it was finished a long time ago. So
yeah, like I feel like it shot like 2 years ago. Like
exactly right.
Like
yeah.
I think this was her first shoot post La La Land, even, and I think she shot this before she shot The Favorite. Like I think
because she also just or is currently having a child, right? Like
yeah, she is.
Yeah, but this is what I also want to talk about. Big and bold. They're sticking their guns here.
Not too far off from where Black Widow would.
Right. So
true.
People have been speculating that it could be another premium access. I still think the premium access thing is just kind of.
Yeah, right. Because people keep saying like, "Oh, Cruella and Black Widow, they're gonna watch and see how Raya does on premium live action." Spoiler alert: Raya is going to do very well on live action or premium, access, and it's going to do pretty well in theaters as well. I don't think it's an animated movie; it's a family film, so I think it's going to do well either way. I don't think it's going to be a good gauge for Black Widow.
Nor do I think any of these can be a gauge for themselves because the situation is constantly changing. And as we just talked about how different genres of each thing are kind of going to have their own kind of way of reaching audiences, and it's just going to be a different outlier every single time. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to I think it is just going to stick with theaters and then maybe go to Disney Plus early if like it had to or something like that.
Exactly.
Because I thought this was going directly to Disney Plus, which I'm glad it's not.
Right.
Yeah, ever since that Investors Day meeting thing, I'm like, there were still questions. I'm like, wait, they announced Cruella, but they didn't really specify whether it's premium or theaters. And I assumed it was just going to be theaters because it's a big name like Emma Stone. Most of the big things they've been dropping straight to Disney Plus were like either animated movies or movies they knew were going to be a flop. Like this one
Yeah.
seemed like a pretty. It
Because
could be.
remember, a lot of the other announcements that they made, didn't they say Pinocchio is good to go, or is Pinocchio still theaters? I can't remember.
Ooh,
That was
I'm
the other
not
big
sure.
one that was like on the fence about. But the Tom Hanks and whoever else is in it. Yeah, and so like based on everything that we were seeing, we are like, oh, it's probably going to go to Disney Plus. And now after seeing the trailer, I understand why they didn't do it directly to Disney Plus.
Yeah, it just looks really good. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it's pretty
So
solid.
hopefully it is.
This
Who
film-
who directed this, by the way?
I cannot tell you.
Todd Phillips.
Did he? No.
No, wait. First, I believed you for a second.
It is Greg Gillespie who did.
Evan wasn't even phased. He was unamused.
I was laughing on the inside.
Oh, he did I, Tonya.
He did I,
Yeah.
Tonya. Yeah.
Great movie. No, a great movie that nobody talks about.
I never heard of that movie, right? I'm just kidding.
I
He
want
also
to watch.
did
I haven't
Finest
watched it,
Hours.
but I really want to.
He did what?
Finest Hours with
Oh, no way!
Pine?
Chris Pine.
yeah.
That wasn't that a Disney release?
Yeah, I liked Finest Hour. That was a fun
Yeah,
movie.
I did
That was
too.
good. Very good.
It
That was like
Chris
one of those
Pine.
rare moments where, like, I think it was a January release, but everyone was
Yeah.
like,
I remember, like, it was January. I'm like, let's go see this. And I had a great time watching that in theaters. It was a good movie.
nice.
So I'm rooting for you, Greg.
Hey,
He also did $1 Million Arm with is that John Hamm?
yeah, I think
Never
so.
seen that one.
That's a Disney like sports movie, so I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think it is.
You lost me at sports.
Okay. Anyways, that's interesting. Should we do?
What's next?
Let's do the.
Mortal Kombat.
Well, I think I was gonna say let's do Justice League. Well, I don't
Okay.
know. That could be a big discussion. We can do Mortal Kombat first.
Okay.
Hey, somebody's live.
Oh snap! Oh, that's a nice looking thumbnail. Really pops.
Yeah, I wonder who made that. I mean,
I always try to find the official trailer. I'm like, it bugs me if I don't.
I
get
always
the
type
official
in
one.
just like.
I am the same way, dude. I'm the same
Either
way.
Warner
I
Brothers
hate
pic-
giving the other
type in
people
wa-
views. I'm like,
type
you
in-
scalpers.
Yeah, type in Warner Bros. Pictures. There you go.
Nerdist.
Wait, is that's not it?
Where? I
No,
hate-
I'm telling you, type in Warner Bros. Pictures. I always type in the studio name.
Oh, jeez, I spelled it wrong.
Warner Bros.
Okay,
India.
you know what? Here's what we're gonna do.
There you go.
There we go. Perfect.
There.
You want the
Restricted
official
mode.
restricted?
Yeah. That is the one.
Somebody watched Patrick Williams' video.
Yeah, and you see the video for cats for my cat in the other room, just like. So I've played Mortal Kombat before,
Yeah.
I have too. Yeah.
but like
I don't know the mythology at all.
Me neither.
and
Not at all.
I'm
But I
glad
was just like
because
watching. I was like, "This is cool." I did instantly recognize that this was Jax because I was like, "Wow, wow!" Like he just did
God.
that.
but it's cool because like it's just like it seems like it's just finding a kind of like it has a little bit of mythology, but also it realizes that it's just a video game kind of thing, and it's just
Yeah.
kind of gonna be its own thing. It's not gonna be like and,
They're going-
and it's not like Mortal Kombat isn't like strict mythology, and I think the biggest mistake of video game movies has been like, oh, we gotta honor the video games. Like, just make a good movie first.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
And
funny
your
thing is, like
character-
most video game adaptations don't honor the video game. They want to change it up in order
Right.
to make it like a legitimate movie.
I
Which
was
is
not
ironic.
aware.
It's just like
I think
Yeah.
is actor's name
Woo.
Hiroyuki Sanada.
Awesome.
I did not know he was playing Scorpion, and I was hyped even more. Like as soon as I saw him, he's so good. And yeah, they just start running everybody. Sonya.
who's
Liu
that
Kang.
guy with the lasers?
What was his name? Kano, I think. And that was Kung Lao.
Oh, that's like the Raiden, right? Okay.
Yeah. I'm so hyped for Kung Lao. His hat is like a literal like buzzsaw. Like,
Yeah,
Was he a fire dude? Whoa, jeez.
dude. Guys, gotta watch the movie Shadow 2018. It's a samurai movie, and they have like sword hats, and they like chuck them at each other. It's insane.
I need it. This is like the Mortal Kombat logo. I didn't know Goro was in it.
And the effects are amazing, right? I mean, it just looks
Yeah,
really
it
good,
looks
even from the
really
trailer
well done.
alone.
It looks really good.
And Sub-Zero is the villain apparently here.
Yes.
Yeah, which I'm down for. Also, this is great.
My favorite thing in the entire.
I would have never thought in my brain to do that.
And then just chucks him through an ice wall, like
spiky ice ball, and then get over here. It's great.
Get over here! Like again, they're not taking.
And you can't hear it, but
it's
they're doing an orchestral version of like the Mortal Kombat.
Yes,
the finishers. Great.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
I think that was Reptile, who is clearly gonna die. But these are great, man.
Oh,
ooh, man, that looks insane.
Look at that's cool.
That kind of looks a little bit practical, makeup wise.
I think it is.
Possibly. But yeah, the effects look great. They're not taking themselves too seriously. There's like crazy executions.
Yeah.
Simple plot, right? So like this seems really awesome. Like I have never played the Mortal Kombat stories. I played with my friends online. Yeah. That's pretty much it. But I've never played the stories. I don't know the lore or anything. But it just looks like a lot of fun. And the main actor here just adding a lot of legitimacy to it. He seems like a really cool guy. I've seen him in other things. Yeah. I think his name is something Lin.
Yeah, and I'm glad this got pushed a little bit to April because, it was originally supposed to be wasn't it supposed to be a January movie in the first place?
Yeah,
and I'm glad it's kind of getting its own little spotlight in April here. I think it deserves it. It looks cool, so I'm gonna see it in theaters. See that tagline, experience it in IMAX. Yeah, I want to go see blood swords in IMAX.
All these things that are HBO Max, like I gotta watch it on my channel first, but then I'll be in the theater.
Exactly.
I would definitely see this in the theater. Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, like last week I said I'm pissed because Godzilla vs. King Kong is coming out.
Weird day.
Weird day on a Wednesday on the 31st. But I realized I was looking at my school schedule. I have spring break that week, so I can still see this in theaters. Problem solved.
I swear to God, it's spring break around here. Yeah,
is it 5 days ago? Yeah.
That'd be it.
It was Sunday.
HBO Max. Yeah, it's that one. So this was an interesting trailer. We saw this shot in the first Snyder Cut trailer. This one has the added effect of like the death cry of Superman being rain out across the universe.
Seemed like the source of it all, right?
God, the 4x3 looks so good when it's like cropped like in this little square for us. It's like our own little
it's our own little screener by Zack.
Yeah.
I think Darkseid is coming. The apocalypse is coming because Superman's dead. Like no more Kryptons.
Right? Yeah, the final Kryptonian in the universe is dead. Now I can infiltrate.
Yeah, you can see like it looks like
that's the mascara. Like I don't know what happened here.
They get murked, right?
Oh my God, yeah. So
this is the nightmare sequence.
Heavy amount of nightmare sequence. I imagine we're gonna spend a while in there.
This is like one of the first Snyder Cut images we ever saw was like Galanet Cave. I remember like
look at this. Yeah.
Can you go back there and pause that? Yeah.
On sorry.
The shot of like you're fine. Of like Desaad and then everybody next to him.
This
Darkseid and
so there's Darkseid, Desaad, and that's on the right. Granny Goodness.
Yes, that is a name.
Which is crazy because my brother and I just finished watching season 3 of Young Justice on HBO Max. And Granny Goodness is one of the main antagonists of that season.
I got to get into the DC animated stuff. Dude, I have seen a little bit.
Watch Young Justice. Watch Young Justice right the heck now because it is incredible. It's one of the best cartoons I've ever seen, and so consistent in terms of its storytelling. And Granny Goodness, Darkseid, Desaad, they're all on the show in terms of like big apocalypse villains. So
this is
can't wait.
I look at the shot and I'm like, wow, like if you tried cropping this, no. Zack won't let you. Like he's just like filling that frame to the fullest.
Yeah, and gosh, it just I know we said it a million times, but it just looks like such a different movie. Like
it does. It's not because they did say they're taking out like everything Josh shot, which was like a whole 90 minutes, and because I think they only used like
and even the voiceover that's going here, of like Ben in the tavern scene is so different than what Josh shot. Like his performance, I'm like, why would you cut that? Like it looks.
I'm pretty sure they only used like 30 minutes of what Zack shot, and he's doing full 4 hour like he had from his assembly cut here. Like that
seems like they're doing the same Superman revival scene though, right? Like it seems like they're doing the same sequence. where
think
Flash and Cyborg work together with the mother box.
We got the black suit, which still is.
Oh
So
man,
beautiful.
so sick.
This is the really fast cut trailer. I didn't realize.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like, oh god,
That was
like,
that was Steppenwolf in Underwater. Did you guys catch that?
Oh
Let me go
no.
yeah,
back here.
I think that was
With
like
the mother box, so he's here digging into the.
that
that
is like
thing.
that was an original thing. Is like he goes to wait,
Like,
what is going
right-
on with? Wait, hold on. Okay, now I have a theory.
That's an extended version of them trying to revive Superman, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I don't remember like
Or it could be going back in
Well,
time.
I don't remember like Cyborg doing.
He wasn't like holding it. He like.
Yeah, so
No.
this is
Or they dropped it. Remember, it was like.
so
dropped
yeah.
it.
So I think instead of like Flash having to like time it correctly, I think he's gonna have to like wire with Victor himself. Because I think they also have like multiple shots where like Victor himself is like in some sort of like mindset where like he's human.
I'm so excited to
and seeing
see
this
him, like his actually emotional backstory and all that
Yeah.
pay off.
Yeah.
Not just the high school stuff, but just like seeing so much has been cut from.
Which again,
stories.
it's funny because Young Justice did a whole Cyborg origin story in season 3.
Wow.
That same season, which is crazy. But yeah, this also could be the Flash going back in time with the warning Bruce scene. That could be it too.
This is what I want to talk
Yeah.
about. He's underwater
Wow.
with one of the mother boxes, which just looks so cool.
And they're going to go deeper on the relationship between the mother boxes and Darkseid because they
Mm-hmm.
kind of overly skipped over that in the movie, but there's a whole
Yeah.
relationship there, like where he wants to like revive
Yeah.
Mother.
Right.
and
Like
everything.
the actual motivation for it, which is
Exactly.
just completely skipped over.
Yeah.
2017's.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh my gosh. In a longer fight sequence between Wonder Woman and Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get more of those history kind of big war flashbacks.
I'm just
Oh my god.
black suit.
like,
It's also just like it's so nice to see.
Oh
them.
my god.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
dude, like,
Honestly, if
That's
any
beautiful.
trailer we should have played at 1.25, it should have been this one.
do you remember how just like lame the conclusion was of Justice League,
Oh,
where he
God.
shows up, like he just so predictably shows up and then does like 2 moves, and
Yeah.
he does like
The
the
one
ice
thing-
thing.
the
and
one
everyone's like,
thing I was-
"Oh."
the one thing I was like really positive about was like, oh cool, we got Ice Breath finally. But
Yeah.
like it's not like
It looked so bad. It looked like a PS2 video game. Like this looks clean as hell. Like
they,
oh my
they
God.
really just went all out on this. This
Yeah.
is
Shout out
really
to I've been
impressive.
seeing some like Instagram posts and whatnot of like all the VFX artists because they worked on
cool.
this
I was
during
specifically
lockdown, which is like
Yeah.
super cool.
I was also seeing I think Zack was doing a thing where like he isn't taking pay for this because he wants to like put that more toward the VFX artists and stuff.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And remember, Henry Cavill didn't come do all those reshoots. Like they're boosting up the effects and everything during quarantine, but all this was already shot, and they just refused.
Yeah.
No,
to-
yeah. What I
Oh,
heard was like they
that's
only shot
insane.
like an additional like 5 minutes. Of,
yeah.
The
Yeah,
rest
that's
is
what,
like all from his assembly cut.
That's what Deborah Snyder was saying or whatever.
hmm
Yeah.
Man, this just looks incredible. The sad thing is, like, it's gonna be 4 hours. I can't really watch this all in one sitting.
Yeah,
I'm-
but apparently, so
I'm
there's
not.
gonna be, of course, before we get to this, there's gonna be another.
Society.
Deborah Snyder did a podcast, and I follow, I guess, some like dedicated DC fans, and they were saying that there's gonna be like one word, like thematic titles in between each of the 4 would-be sections.
Mhm.
So you could kind of pause, like, I don't know what the sections are going to be titled, but there's going to be kind of like intercut 4 separate like title things. So you could probably just like pause on any of the segments, which will be cool.
Oh wow.
So I don't know what that's going to actually look like. If it's just going to be like Resurrection and then like play the hour segment.
It's like a
Like,
Tarantino chapter 3. Like
yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
I'd
I'm
be
sure it'll
down
worth
for that,
it.
honestly. Just like so I think what's gonna happen is like we're gonna like right here, we're gonna spend like an extended amount of time like in this alternate future
Mhm.
of the nightmare.
With
um,
look at that, Vic's in there too. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Cyborg's there too. That's just cool.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I'll go back.
I didn't
Look
see-
for the spread eye. See it?
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Okay, so
Cool.
yeah, I think we're gonna get like a lot, and I think like Flash will be up there too because he's supposed to go back and warn Bruce.
Yeah, again, this is
Yes.
going to be more of a thing saying like this is what the world would have looked like if Darkseid came and destroyed everything. So
Right.
Yeah.
this is why,
It's like really I mean, I'm just glad we're getting like an actual sequel to. I mean, say what you want about Batman versus Superman, but
It has a vision. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been trying to do this for so long. So it's such an interesting experiment. Like, I think Jordan Voight Roberts tweeted a thread the other day about, like, regardless of how this turns out, like, it's just such an interesting, like, Hollywood experiment because yes, we talk about, like, extended cuts and assembly editions and all these different things that are, like, naturally occurring things and they sometimes get released. But this is a whole other thing because it was literally kind of ransacked from him, rewritten, retooled, reshot, and then, like, they're stripping all that back and then, like, actually having a budget to, like, finish that extended stuff, which is just, like, unheard of. And so it's, like, such an interesting experience to, like, when this finally comes out, it's going to be
a year ago I wouldn't have thought this was possible.
Yeah,
and not only that, it's just like to like finish like all of like the VFX and everything for this superhero film that's over 4 hours.
Yeah,
that's commitment.
We live in a society, Batman.
It's yeah. So I think Zack was saying in the interview that like Batman is going to need Joker's help. At some point, they're gonna have to work together too.
Guys, and I totally forgot. Like we're getting William Dafoe. We're getting more Connie Nielsen. She's not gonna be
more
like,
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
I don't think Willem Dafoe was in the Justice League cut.
No, they chopped him completely out.
Right.
Oh wow, you're right.
So
is he not in Aquaman?
He's in Aquaman. Yeah,
he's in Aquaman, but his character was supposed to be introduced.
Bro, wow.
Yeah. So before that, and then I guess they cut him out. But
Ocean. Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for this movie. Not excited for it to be 4 hours, like I've already said, but I'm excited to. I'm planning on rewatching Man of Steel and BVS Ultimate Cut. I think those are both on HBO Max.
So I'm definitely gonna check them out again.
So, yeah,
it's always like interesting to revisit. It's funny because like I know like these films get like a lot of scrutiny for not sticking very true to like how the core of the characters are, but honestly when you just like go in I'm just like applying like Zack's philosophies to these characters, I think it's an interesting Elseworld type exploration to dive into. So I'm like already like all in on like what his vision is to be.
Yeah, and I think too much there's always like this apprehension, not saying that apprehension about something shouldn't be seen as a valid criticism of someone's emotional projection of a story, but also it's like I feel like there's so much apprehension to be like, oh, you know, you don't understand Superman or you don't understand Batman because
I hate that,
you know, the core of the character is XYZ. I think that's so toxic to say the core of the character is this when like the whole premise of comics, at least from what I can gather, is like these ongoing things that you quite literally see characters evolve with like different groups of characters and developments and stuff. It's like your take is what your take is, like, and it may be not as good as someone else's take, but I don't think it means it's the wrong take. So I don't know. It's such a weird battle that's on the internet for like, and I still see tweets about BVS and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's tiring. It's the same thing for Star Wars, Marvel, DC. Like it's all when it comes down to from movies and adaptation in general, it's artist interpretation, right? So it's just like you don't have to have like your character. It's great when your character is ripped straight from the comic onto the screen, but other times like this is just an artist interpretation of what this character is. So you either respect it or you don't. But you don't have to have hate about that. Yeah.
You know how much stress I've gone through on Spider-Man Twitter. Of all the iterations
you've lived through,
where it's like they either Toby, Andrew, Tom are or aren't the most perfect. Here's how, here's not how. And I'm just like,
it's ridiculous. I look at them as like they're different interpretations. I'm cool with all of them.
They take different qualities from different eras. It's all like
1,000%. Yep,
dependent.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm super hyped to see what Zack's gonna do. I know it was like crazy to think like how it was gonna go because I'm pretty sure like the original like release of like how things were going to go is like it was supposed to lead into like a bunch of overarching different things where like they were going to lose at the end of this movie and then they were going to like face dark. So it feels like they're going to like bleed in like what his plans were for 1 and 2 of Justice League into this together.
Yeah, in terms of the whole Green Lantern reveals, we still haven't seen any of that. Yeah,
we haven't seen any Martian Manhunter stuff yet.
Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern,
the whole Unite the Seven, that was deep. front-facing tagline
Yeah.
of when Zack was still on it. Like that first trailer, the whole mantra was "Unite the Seven, Unite the Seven, Unite the Seven." Um, God, it's so exciting,
All in.
and I'm excited. I hearing Jeremy Irons like with some cool lines in the
Oh, every
trailer.
time he has
I
dialogue, it's perfect.
and I still feel like he hasn't lived up to his full potential yet. I'm like, this is gonna be the time where he's gonna shine. I'm like,
He has a great line in this, like when they showed Superman. It's like, if you can't face the charging bull, then don't wave the red cape at it, while they're looking at the Superman hologram. And I'm just
and
like,
I'm like, yes,
nobody
Jeremy
could have
Irons.
delivered it better than Jeremy Irons. Scar himself. Like,
What a picture. Anyways,
Cinema.
yeah.
Oh yeah, real quick, since we're on the topic of DC, I just want to quickly talk about the reveal today of Supergirl being in The Flash. I forget the actress they casted.
I'm pulling it up.
Latina
I'll pull it up
actress.
as well.
What's her name?
The reveal video is so sweet. Like,
So sweet. I loved it.
God, I don't want to hit deadline. Go away, deadline.
Deadline's garbage.
I believe her name is Sasha Calle.
Sasha Calle, which is fantastic. I had no idea they were going to use Supergirl in the Flash. I knew WBDC had plans to showcase Supergirl going forward as their main I guess super character, because they still don't know what to do with Superman, unfortunately.
Right.
But yeah, Supergirl was going to be their big spearhead thing. We do know Joss Whedon is not in charge of it. Oh, wait, actually, he was doing the Batgirl, not Supergirl one, right? So
Either way, he's walked off.
he's walked off.
He's
everything.
walked off.
Yeah, I know, right? So I'm very excited for the Supergirl film. I think she was great casting by the looks of it. I haven't seen her other projects, but I'm just excited to see what she brings to the role.
Right, and I think I guess Andy Muschietti is the one that cast her. Because that was like the whole thing going around on Zoom was like the video of like him telling
him calling, and it's so wholesome because she her mom or her significant other or whoever's off screen, she turns to him, she's like, I got it, and it's so amazing.
It's so cute. I love it. I love that. I love that we're open to having a non-white person play Supergirl. I think that's interesting to explore.
And can we just say this? I'm so torn with this movie now because we have the Ray Fisher stuff, which is just heartbreaking, and from a studio meddling thing, it just sucks. And I just think back to Rick Famuyiwa's Flash of what that script looked like, and knowing that it was going to be that movie. And now this interesting premise with this multiverse, whatever it's going to be, with Keaton's Batman, a Supergirl, all serving under this kind of big first Flash movie. With a cool director, but at the same time, it's it's so hard to be excited with the Ray Fisher stuff and
that's
everything that Warner Brothers have done. It's just it's double-edged sword for me right now.
Yeah, that's the one thing keeping me apprehensive about this movie. Just the whole Ray Fisher cyborg situation is so unfortunate.
Yeah, I would like to believe that they could still fix something there.
Yeah, I mean,
unless Hamada leaves, I just don't.
Yeah, I don't see that happening at all. But I hope for the best for Ray Fisher. I really wish Cyborg was still in this movie. Just imagine Cyborg being in this movie on top of Michael Keaton, on top of this new Supergirl. Man, I would be so excited for this movie.
I would love if, honestly, I would love to see Ray in a Marvel or a Star Wars project. I would love someone to scoop him and say, hey, I think it'd be a huge statement.
Ray Fisher is Miles Morales in Spider-Man.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, and last thing he did was True Detective season 3, which I saw a few episodes of.
He was great.
Of course, he was pretty good. So yeah, I just hope he gets. I would love to see him work with some horror directors too, or just random project. I would love if Jordan Peele picked him up for a huge project, or
I'm positive he'll get some work sooner rather
Definitely.
than later. Yeah. But yeah, do you guys have any idea where they'll use Supergirl here? Is this an alternate Flashpoint kind of thing going on here, or is this
I'm pretty sure
is it the normal universe?
I could see her guiding, being Keaton being a guiding force in one area, and then her being a guiding force in another. Yeah. I don't know what that relationship would look like.
I don't want to get my hopes up for a lot of screen time from her.
Right, it seems like a 15-minute kind of deal.
If that, yeah, 5 to 10 minutes. But
I forget. Are they working on a Supergirl movie?
I think so. I mean, we've heard rumors about Supergirl wanting or WB wanting Supergirl to be their main
Yeah, and with this
figure,
casting, it's I
but
would imagine that one's moving forward pretty quickly if they've already cast and
Mhm.
have appearance in the Flash, and then they're probably going to want to piggyback off that and have a movie out in 2 years or after that. But who knows?
yeah, I'm trying to look on old sites right now.
Yeah, because I remember it was in the middle of like the the every 6 months the Henry Cavill rumors, and then
Okay, so in 2018, it was like a Supergirl movie is in the works for Warner Brothers, but last year, a lot of like rumor sites said like a Supergirl film is rumored to be shelved as WB aims to reignite Henry Cavill. I mean, that could just totally be the opposite now, but
it might be like
yeah. But yeah, this looks great. I would hopefully hear some more news about a Supergirl film in the future.
it's bonkers to me talking about this, like how much like Superman is such a big character, regardless of your take on him.
Mhm.
And like that we haven't had a standalone Superman movie since 2013.
13. That's
Like
insane.
8 years ago.
wow.
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 That's insane.
We've had
Wow.
in that span that's like in time span, like Nolan did an entire Batman trilogy in that like an 8 year span. You know what I mean? Like, just
We've
like
seen
so
3 separate Batman.
this entire Star Wars trilogy happened in way less than that time. Like,
It's crazy.
bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the most famous superhero of all time, and they don't know how to do him justice.
Which is
I
wild
guess.
too, because so many people have approached him about it. Like, I don't know, and so many people want to do it. Like, they
Yeah,
just haven't.
Christopher McQuarrie, the person who's had huge success with Mission Impossible, has
Absolute
said he
ball
had
dropping
pitches,
that I do not know why you
but
don't.
people didn't take his pitches. I'm like, is Christopher McQuarrie, guy from Mission Impossible, with Henry Cavill? Like, that's just go picture right now. Come on.
He's already made him so good. Like, oh man. Think of the set pieces he could have had.
Oh my god, yeah.
The practical set pieces.
Then he probably would try to do it a little bit more. And think about a Superman film with the volume as well, something with volume technology.
Ooh.
And
Oh yeah.
what that would do for, because that's always been kind of the uncanny valley type stuff has been a lot with the flying, and obviously you can have like CGI people flying, and we see that a little bit.
I've
with
always
Shazam and stuff
accepted
too.
I've always accepted people flying. I've never had a problem recently.
No, but like even in like Wonder
Sure.
Woman 84, it looks a little wonky effects wise.
Everyone says that. I don't see it.
You don't?
They're like
looks
my
really
favorite
wonky.
scenes. I don't see it. I'm just like,
It's
they're
a little
clouds.
wonky.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I like it. I like it because of how cheesy it is. Like, I see what
Yeah.
they're going for, but
Yeah.
it's still kind of wonky.
Our VFX
Anyways.
students, break it down for me someday.
That's Carson for you.
No, I am not Corridor Crew over here by any means. Anyway,
I'll listen to Corridor Crew because they do know what they're talking about.
except when they have the stunt guy come on.
I will never understand the stunt dude. Like,
he was so mad.
Who's the
know.
Last
Corridor
Jedi.
crew?
They break down like they're
do,
like
like,
a VFX house that does YouTube videos, and they break
Oh.
down like good and bad Hollywood VFX.
just keep positively telling me how pores on skin is supposed to stretch on faces, and I'll be good. I don't need to break down like, oh, this dude didn't miss his mark at the same time, so like, oh, it's all bad now. Like, get out of
Right.
here. No one sees that for a split second. God.
Nobody.
Anyway.
Did we get through
Superman.
everything?
I think so. I think we could just like review stuff if you guys have anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I have not seen anything for the second week in a row. Oh wait, I mean, I don't think I talked about Judas and the Black Messiah.
No, you haven't, and I
Have
haven't
you not
seen it
talked
yet.
about that?
I'm kicking myself.
I think I'm gonna
I-
catch. I might catch it tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw that last Saturday. I thought it was a wonderful film. Wonderful film. It's probably up there as my favorite film this year, next to The Dig. I just love The Dig so much.
I gotta watch that too. Ever since I'm like, man, it just seems like a great.
But
little
yeah,
escape.
Daniel Kaluuya is probably my running favorite for Best Supporting Actor, right next to Leslie Odom Jr. from One Night in Miami. Like, I think Daniel Kaluuya, freaking-tastic as Fred Hampton. He brought a lot of soul to the character. Great accent, and just great drive in general. He wasn't the main character of the movie. The main character is still revolved around. Crap, I'm forgetting the name right now. It's revolved around Keith Stanfield's character, but it's told from his perspective. But also, you get a lot of scenes trying to understand Fred Hampton, understand his journey during the whole civil rights era, civil rights movement, and the unfortunate reality of everything that what happened in terms of like the white resistance and the white mob, and including the policemen, and the illegal and the craziness involved there with the whole civil rights movement. And the ending is very much true to reality. I wasn't really surprised by that, by the ending of this film. It is very depressing. But yeah, it stays true to what happened in the era, which I like about these kind of movies. Like, you don't want to sugarcoat anything. It stays true to what the purpose of the movie is trying to convey. But overall, I think the writing was pretty strong. The pacing is like hit and miss, like kind of low there in the middle of it all. But overall, I think the message was very powerful. It's a very powerful film overall.
I can't wait to see it, dude. It's funny. I was thinking about like Best Picture race and stuff today. I randomly saw on YouTube that Netflix dropped the entire trial of Chicago 7 on their YouTube channel. Like,
really,
dude, guys,
like, the time is now, and I'm like, because Judas came out and they wanted to like rebuzz some stuff.
It's like the anniversary of the events of the trial of Chicago 7. So I think that's why they're doing that. But yeah, at this point, in terms of Best Picture race, that's like the main lead for some reason. It might be Trial of Chicago 7 that's going to go home with Best Picture, which is shocking to me because it's like the most boring film out of all the potential nominees.
I was like skipping ahead on the YouTube thing and I just like saw Justin Gordon-Levitt. I'm like, I forgot he's in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
What?
He is in that movie, yeah. He plays a boring character.
Well, I have a non-boring movie to talk about. I watched The Hunt with not the 2019 whatever version.
Yeah, I
was like, wait, didn't you all
the Mads Mikkelsen movie? Thomas Vinterberg, who did Another Round with Mads, that movie that came out last year. This was their first collaboration back in 2012. It's a Scandinavian, I believe Thomas Vinterberg is Danish movie, and it's both stressful and sad. So basically the premise is Matt's character is like recently divorced. He's kind of like a assistant teacher kind of position at this kindergarten. And it's this small town kind of atmosphere. And what happens is this one of his students like sees like this like pornographic clip that her brother shows her or whatever. And so, you know how kids are very like impressionable and like will just like say dumb shit. And so all of a sudden like she sees like these two people kissing on the video or whatever, and so she goes up like because Mads Mikkelsen is like playing with all the kids, obviously like that's like his job to like go outside and like, you know, keep kids active and like just have a good day with them at recess or whatever and help the teacher. But like he's like playing with these kids, and then she like runs up to him as they're like wrestling on the ground and just like kisses him, and he's like, no, you can't do that. Like, you only kiss your parents on the lips, like, yada, yada, yada. I know this sounds, like, crazy. It makes way more sense when you watch the movie. Anyways, so she gets mad about the kid gets mad about that, and based on what she also saw in the video, tells the main teacher on him, is like, hey, I saw so-and-so's, like, private parts. And so this rumor gets out of hand, and he gets just, like, crucified into the entire community. Everybody like throwing rocks in his window, like it won't let him shop at the grocery store, even though he eventually wins the court case. Like, he's shunned from this town, and just explores like the relationships that happen because of that. And it's his best friend's daughter that blames him in the first place. And of course we know the whole time that he didn't do it, and so it's more painful to like watch it play out, because it's trusting the word of this kindergartner over these two best friends, and it's just so painful. And it kind of has one of those kind of Parasite like endings where you think it's gonna wrap up a little bit happy, and it just tears your heart out again. And it's highly recommend. I've never been more like, it's stressful, like just seeing this happen.
This sounds incredible.
Yeah, it's an awesome movie. Like, I highly
Where'd you
recommend
watch
it.
this at?
Awesome.
Got it from the library?
I got it
Did
from the
you?
library.
Oh, I knew it. Oh wait, no.
You showed us
Yeah,
the.
I don't.
Oh man, the
It's
Hunt,
on-
Matt.
But yeah, Mads
Wow.
is also very phenomenal in this
Oh, it's
movie.
on Tubi.
Yeah, it's on
Oh.
Tubi. That's what I was gonna say. So if you have that,
If I have Tubi.
I have that on my PS5 for some reason.
Okay.
but yeah, highly recommend. Like,
Wow.
yeah, it's from 2012, so not too long ago. I think it might have been nominated back in the day for best foreign film for Denmark. I cannot remember. I'd have to look.
Is it in a foreign language?
It's a mix of Danish and English.
Okay.
Wow, that sounds
Yeah,
really
it's
good.
it's
Y'all just
like
throwing out
a wild premise.
Y'all just throwing out heavy subject matters.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
I went to Middle Earth for the past couple days. What the hell? I don't know if I can. The social structure. I don't know. Dwarves and elves don't like each other.
Thousands of years ago.
So you saw both since the last time we did the podcast. You saw Two Towers and Return of the King.
Yes. Yesterday I saw Return of the King. Day before that I saw Two Towers.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So I go in for Two Towers. I overslept my alarms, I guess, or they didn't go off or something. And it was like my showtime's 6:30. It's 6:00. And I was like, okay. My main transportation is Uber. I go to pull up the app. It says no cars available. I'm like, son of a bitch. I haven't been late. I was like the train conductor in Polar Express. I haven't been late in 14 years. Like something. No, literally though, I haven't. Like to a movie, I'm always early or earlier. So I'm just like going. I'm just like, God, why? So I get there, and I go to sit down, and I'm like, I don't think I missed over too much. The movie had started, and it was Sam and Frodo, just like walking along before they like capture Gollum.
Yeah, that's the opening scene. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah, but then I came back later that night and I queued up because I own it, and I queued it up, and I was like, oh, I missed 8 minutes of the movie where Gandalf fights the Balrog falling down.
Oh, you missed that.
You missed
Oh,
that.
no.
Yeah.
I was like, I missed this epic moment. No.
Oh wow. So the movie starts off with that then. Dang.
Yeah, that was probably the most.
That's right. It starts off with it treads back a little bit, and it's like.
And I'm looking at like how grand of a scale it is, and I'm like, oh my God, I missed this in IMAX. I hate myself.
But you got to see the
Battle of Helm's Deep.
Battle of Helm's Deep on the big.
How
screen.
long is that battle?
That's a long battle.
It's like a 40-minute battle at least.
Look, man, I was like, the movie was going, and like I'm still like all about like the length of these runtimes, but I was like, Rohan and their drama, and like trying to like just like men suck and they won't work together, and I'm just like. You're just like, it takes a while, you know, but you know, it's still interesting. It's funny when you watch the like grand scheme of this, like Kate Blanchett shows up for like 2 minutes in the grand scheme of this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. It's just like they're just like, I know they shot all back to back, but it's just like, wow, these small appearances, man. Like they Lord Elrond for 5 minutes, like, but then we go back everybody, and it's great just like seeing all the characters. It's great like seeing all the Gollum stuff, and I'm pretty sure this was a film that won like best VFX of that year for Gollum's motion capture.
I think it was, yeah.
It was like really impressive. I think it was, yeah, because it was like the same year against like Dobby and Harry Potter. But yeah, this one out, and it's interesting just like watching the whole like relationship and like the whole like manipulation stuff start being seeded before Return of the King with like Gollum and Sam and who does Frodo actually trust with the weight of the ring and all that. It's all really great the way it's all set up, and then that's probably like my highlight stuff. Like, not to be like the person just like I want to see where the ring's going, but I just like I love the relationship. I love Sam so much. He's so great.
He's
like,
a real one, right? Yeah.
Is like the bestest friend, and it's just like
he drags him up that mountain at the end.
The man has like literally like the man has the best dialogue. Just like he's a villain. Like like the way it's all written is so good, and just Sean Austin's performance is phenomenal. But yeah, you get to Return of the King, and this was the film that which okay. By the way, when I got to Return of the King, I was early for that, and I'm like walking through, and then like one of my coworkers is like, "Oh my God, you're already on the third one." I was like, yeah. It's like I still have to watch the second one. I was like, yeah. So I go sit down and watch it, and like this is just like such the grandest scale of all of them that truly deserves the most to be seen on the big screen. Like the other ones, like obviously have like great moments, but this is like where everything's going down, all these battles and like the fights and stuff. And yeah, seriously, all the mortar stuff and like Mount Doom is it's so epic. And there's so many points where like it's all this like emotional buildup and stuff where I'm just like I'm crying so many times. Like there even just like a small line where like Gimli's like, I never thought I'd be dying side by side with an elf, and Legolas like, well, how about Legolas like, how about a friend? And I'm like, oh my heart, and just like all the different stuff, like when Aragorn's like leading a charge, he's taking up Mantle King, and he's like for Frodo, and he charges for Mordor. I'm like, oh my god, how do you keep it together? But then like the whole Mount Doom stuff is phenomenal, and the way it all goes down. Like Sam carries Frodo. After all that, you know, and then Gollum shows up, and it's like, oh god, and then Frodo again, like, you know, spoilers and everything, but you know, like when he is like succumb to the ring and he puts it on, and Sam is just heartbroken again after previously being abandoned before saving him, and he's like sees his friend just like succumb to it and disappear with the ring, and he's like, no, why? It's been a year we've been walking. It's horrible. But this is the whole like epic conclusion of the whole thing is just so phenomenal. I know there's like,
what happened to Frodo in the ring again? Like Frodo throws the ring and Gollum goes after it, right?
No. What happens is he like fully wants the ring. Gollum sees his footprints, tackles him, and bites his finger off.
Oh wow!
To take the ring.
And that falls in the lava and Gollum.
Got it. Okay.
They both fall over the cliff, but then Frodo's hanging on, and which is another emotional moment when Sam's trying to save him. Frodo's like unsure.
I remember that now.
Sam's just like, "Don't you let go! Like, don't do it." I was like, it's so good. The whole film is so good.
Man.
And I know it gets like sometimes some flack of being stretched out because there's like 4 different endings where you could.
I'm about to ask you.
Endings are so good.
They're all so good. No,
so how many endings did you like? I'm confused. Like, so are there?
I'm going to count them because
okay, cool.
They do the whole like thing where like it's Frodo and Sam, and then like it fades out, and then it fades in, and the eagles save them, and you know Frodo wakes up to everybody, and it's like it's a great time. And then I think it fades out again, and then it comes back to Aragorn being the king now, and like they all bow to the hobbits and stuff, and it's great. And then it goes out, and then back again. We're in the Shire, and then we say goodbye to Frodo, where he sails off with
Frodo leaves.
Bilbo.
Well, Bilbo and they
because he's just like so like weary from the travel.
He's depressed, right?
Yeah, and like he still like feels the pain when he was stabbed on Weathertop from the.
And Bilbo leaves with him.
Yeah, Bilbo was already leaving. Yeah, they were. I think all the elves were leaving because like now it's like the new like Age of Man stuff.
Got it.
Gandalf leaves with them too. Like everybody's gone. And then they leave off with Sam, and then we follow back Sam with the Shire, and he's with his family, and then that's where it's like truly ending. Because he has a whole wedding and stuff, and I'm just like,
Sam gets married.
Sam gets married to that girl he likes in the Shire. It's so great.
Good for that guy.
I remember he was on like Mount Doom. He was like, if there was anybody I would have married, it would have been her. And I'm like, it's all so good. And then it just bookends beautifully. And then like the end of both trilogies, they have like these beautiful sketches of all the characters over the credits. And I'm just like, I'm standing here for all of this, man. This is beautiful. It's 10:30 at night. I don't care.
3 hours and 20 minutes. What's another 10?
Literally.
So are there more endings in another extended edition, or did you see the most endings?
There might be more in extended. I haven't like probably sat down to watch the extended for Return of the King.
Okay.
It's been like years since I've checked out those. I need to. What I wanted to do is I wanted to watch these. I actually might revisit The Hobbit now. Since I'm just on the kick of this, because I do enjoy those films quite a bit. I remember seeing them theatrically. Got memories tied with them. So I might check those out, and then I might check out the extendeds soon after it. I'll need a break, but I would actually like love to like look at the comparisons of different things, because I know it's fascinating whenever like a new scene will pop up. Like this wasn't here before. I know there's a big plot point in Return of the King where like Christopher Lee's character Saruman, they're just like in the theatrical cut, they're just like, I was just leave him, he's locked away, he has no more power. But like in the extended edition, it was like that Wormtongue guy, I think, like stabs him, and he falls down, and he falls down the tower, and then gets impaled on like one of like
that's right.
They show it too, and like the Hobbit's like, oh god, like, oh my god, it's like brutal. But yeah, they have all that stuff.
Wow,
crazy.
Yeah, I really need to set aside some time to watch this trilogy again.
I'm thinking spring break, Evan. Whenever your spring break is with that. during your Godzilla week?
Lord of the Rings or Godzilla versus King Kong? I don't know.
Well, I think by that time it's not going to be playing in theaters anymore. So if you want to just take the comfort of your home and the pause button,
I might have to do that.
No,
yeah.
no pause.
no pause.
No pauses.
All three one day.
Let's go. 9-hour kick.
The full journey.
I'll be ending it speaking like Gollum. Going crazy. Oh man. It sounds like you had a great time though. Were these theaters full or how big were they?
Like sporadically
Crowd-wise.
throughout the week. It was like I think like my Return of the King screening was like 10 people. In an IMAX auditorium that houses 200. So
Yeah, that's what mine for Fellowship. There's probably 10 to 15 spread out over 200 whatever seats.
So but well, I will say like Fellowship and Two Towers were pretty full at like 20 people.
Nice.
And as of right now, you can still any viewers out there. There's one person. If you still want to catch them, they are actually still playing for at least another week, I think, where they'll be bobbing in and out of IMAX while also having standard screenings as well, so you can catch them. They're like how they debuted back in the 2000s, or you could see like the big IMAX
And it's
4K
only
upscale.
$8 for IMAX, and probably $5 fan favorites for the
Probably
standard.
So I would highly recommend doing so. Again, like they've all been upgraded to 4K at this point, and they all look gorgeous. Once again, climbing Mount Doom, I was like, this is a grand epic. I'm looking at like I can see. I was watching. I was like, this is a Best Picture winner. It won Best Picture, and I see why.
Isn't it like the most awarded film in Best Picture or
in Best
like
Picture
Oscar history? Like
something like a clean sweep or
the
something.
one like 12 something. It won like every award it was nominated for.
I think it's 19 awards. I swear. I think it's either 17 or 19.
Which isn't that crazy? Like that's back in the day. That's like 2003. Mm-hmm. Like we've come so far in terms of like movies and more big blockbusters, but they're not just winning as many awards as
like
King did.
That's what's so monumental about it. It's like no other
it's a franchise film. I mean, it's like, I would not have expected like something like as much as I love Endgame, I don't expect it to like be like winning Oscars back to back. Whereas like Return of the King here is like, no, we got it.
We got it in the bag. Like
here's all our endings. We're taking the time. Academy, watch. Look at our runtime. We're legit.
Oh man, imagine the screeners going out like runtime 3 hours and 20 minutes. The little script booklets. They're like.
Hugh Jackson's in the back, like, do you want the longer one? No. It's like a blackmail thing. Like either you watch the 4.5 hour cut, or you give him the Oscar,
or you give him the vote.
Yeah. God.
So that's how they did it.
Right. Oh my God, but yeah, they were beautiful. It's seriously like a bucket list thing to like re-releases to see. So good.
Awesome.
Wait, yeah, Carson, are you looking up the Oscar thing?
No, I was trying to change my lights to Lord of the Rings colors, but
it's the end of
nice
the
try.
Show. It's the end of the show, Carson. It's fine. Honestly, you got like the ring, but also
I got Mordor and the ring on this side. So
it's so funny. Also, was like watching like every time it amuses me when like Frodo puts the ring on inside of Mount Doom, and then Sauron like notices, and like it's just an eye, but he's just like, oh.
Yeah, it's scary
Go!
too.
Yeah, it's like it's a fun, but then like the pupils widen, and he just like immediately looks over, like, get it, I'm gonna die. Like, it's so good. The original Horcrux.
What a picture!
What a picture.
Did we do it? Did we finish the show?
I think so. Another 2 hour epic.
Might as well go to 320. We can do it.
Yeah. Let's talk about Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, Last of Us Part 2, Harry Potter. You want the extended edition shows? We got them, man.
I can't wait to review Last of Us week to week. We should.
Dude, that's going to be great. I'm definitely going to do that. Awesome. That's going to be so fun. I mean, even to that point, even though WandaVision's finishing up, we're about to hit Falcon.
Oh my God, we're booked for the entire year, bro.
And Loki and all that. Like, everything. Oh, man. I mean, I'm probably gonna tackle what ifs, at least on my own. Like,
dude, I saw someone make like an Excel sheet of it, and there's something coming out every week for Marvel. Like,
that's amazing. And then we have like all the HBO Max releases coming. Like,
right? It's bonkers,
man.
Wow. But yeah, that about will do it for our show. Evan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Harris EV9 on Twitter, and like Martin Scorsese says, you can come here and watch all of our delicious content. In 2021. I'm sorry, Martin. Please come on our show.
No, we won't.
You don't know that.
I know that. My little channel.
But
yeah, I like that line he wrote about the shade in a tree. Maybe he's got something.
But I had a blast this week. I love talking WandaVision. I can't wait to talk about what craziness happens in episode 8. Besides that, I'm continuing to watch Attack on Titan every Sunday. Everybody should watch that show. And like I mentioned in this video, watch Young Justice. It's on HBO Max. Sitting there waiting for everybody. Watch it.
Carson, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at the Film Carson. Just getting busy with school again, and it sucks, but I'll go get more foreign films from the library and just talk about it on here. And it's all good. Excited to break down the finale, the penultimate and the finale episode of WandaVision, and then we literally jump 2 weeks after that into Falcon Winter Soldier. It just doesn't let up, and we get to see Erin Kellyman in 2 weeks on the show. Ooh. I saw her Instagram story the other day. It was like the line where Falcon's like, that little girl kicked your ass, and she's like pointing up on her Instagram story. She's like, that's me. That's so perfect. I'm excited just for all this delicious content and to make delicious content on top of the delicious content, like Baskin Robbins. I got nothing else.
Scoops.
Get out of here.
All the scoops. And you can always find me here on the channel reacting to all the different shows that we discuss. And maybe, I don't know, being obsessed with Ghost of Tsushima and desperately wanting to pitch a TV series of that, because that would be amazing.
Oh my god. And it makes me so excited for the FX Samurai show. Remember that was announced?
Oh yeah, you're right.
I keep forgetting about that, dude.
I forgot. I just dude, I lost
It's called Shogun, right?
Yeah, it's called Shogun, literally.
Dude, I forgot everything after they announced an Alien show, but yeah.
Yeah, with Noah Hawley and Ridley Scott producing. I'm like, amazing.
On Earth.
Need it.
I'm super excited. But yeah, with that being said, guys, if you did enjoy our show, make sure you hit like button, subscribe if you're not already. Hope you have a great day, and may the force be with you always.